And I'm not trying to stay in the middle of the road because my kids
Sure
go to
you
Poly
are.
and all my
That's what you
friends
do.
are king. So I'm walking right down the middle of the road.
Right.
Good luck, everybody.
Let
Good luck.
me go through this one. Zink. Go to the here's how the fans picked this week. Allegedly, here's how the fans picked this week.
The fans picked?
Yeah, the fans got to pick their games.
So if they were right, keep going. Just
they
quick.
were right. 98% picking.
They were
Centennial.
good. Again, good.
Good.
Again, good.
Yep. All right, Southwestern League. Chaparral.
That was good. That was good.
They're
that
6-0.
was good. So far.
They win that one.
Yes, barely, but yes.
They win that one.
Yep.
Ouch.
Oh. And everybody takes it on the chin.
Yeah, 95% of you picking Ramona.
You know, that's really bad. Oh my gosh, look at that score.
25-22 fans picked last year.
What was the final?
The final score was 35-21.
Yeah.
35-21. Good win for La Sierra.
Yeah.
You know what was interesting? I saw the La Sierra kids the other night when I was at a volleyball game there, and they were really, you know what, they were not hanging their heads down after losing to Rancho Verde. They were very, very positive. You know, and I was thinking about that earlier. It's like, you know, I don't remember how I picked in that one, to tell you the truth, but it was good to see that team was resilient.
Well, if I remember from the interview that Marion Swanson got with, I can't, the quarterback's name is Salazar?
Right. Johnny.
John? Johnny Salazar.
Yeah.
He had a little bit of swagger, and it seemed like La
He's a
Sierra
good
had some
quarterback.
swagger. Yeah, not bad, but they kind of took it on the chin last week,
Right.
but obviously took it out.
But everybody takes on the chin against the Rancho Verde. Though.
Yeah, but they took it on the chin, and they came back and made Valley View pay for it.
Let's go to the next one. All right, Sunbelt League fan picks.
That's good.
That's good.
That one is.
We don't know that one. We haven't
not know,
seen that one yet. You know what? Early on, that was like 50-50, and then at the very end, it took off. All right.
That's good.
Yep, that's good. San Andreas League.
Not good.
And we don't know yet.
No.
Don't know yet.
No. Yes.
Yep.
Any others? Ooh.
89% pick Kaiser, and we don't know on this one yet either. On that, so that's how the fans are picking.
I picked Norte Vista in that game, by the way. I have to come clean and say I picked Norte Vista.
Really?
I did. I kind of think they've been playing under their ability all year.
Here are the leaders right now in the contest. PJCJ, Dr. Pete, who's on our VIP list.
And we should ban him from this thing.
141 and 26. He was like 31 and he was 30. Was it 33 and 1 week?
Yeah, no, he was 34 and 1.
No, it was only 34
35.
games. No, it was 34 games.
Oh, 33 and 1.
Right, we only had 20 games this week.
So why doesn't he just go to Vegas and be an odds maker? Just leave us
know.
alone.
He's a chiropractor.
Obviously he's head and shoulders above everybody
he's
else.
really good.
I
mean, look at it. He's got a 2-game lead over Commish, the Rude Dog, and GB Fan. And then this Nordbeck guy down here, I don't know what his story is.
Bob Nordbeck?
138 and 929.
I hear that guy's an absolute football guru.
Well, not compared to the chiropractor.
Well, I mean, but
Clearly doesn't know what he's talking about.
The chiropractor sits around cracking people's backs and reading facts about
Right.
high school teams.
There's some.
I wonder if Dr. Pete would get upset if
I tried to make
that.
these games harder this week, but really, you know what? It's interesting. You look back at these fan picks; they really weren't that hard.
No.
All right. Okay, let me go back through this again and see if there's any new updates that we've got. I don't know what the chat room's talking about. They were having a furious debate about Kaiser the other day.
I think that they're probably sick and tired of us.
I'm sure they probably are.
Bet
you
you
probably said that
Pep's,
like now 45 times.
I'll bet you Pep's just about here.
He's.
Well, go to the chat room. Okay,
the chat room. They're talking about.
Call us out. Do you think we should be off and someone else come on because you're bored with us, or?
I think they're bored with you.
Yeah.
And your insistence that they're bored with us.
Well, Louis, you have too much ego for
I'm
anybody.
sure coaches learned a lot from last year's Centennial game. If we can outcoach another team, it's Vista Murrieta.
As he reads the chat.
I'm reading the chat room.
Here, let me read you the directions to this food processor.
It's like your negativity on the show.
What are you talking about?
It's out of hand.
You've got your back to the camera and you're reading.
Okay, folks, let me have a conversation with you guys for a minute here. I spent 25 minutes today trying to tell Zink that we should move the cameras, one over here, one over there, so my back wasn't in there. But he says, you know what, Louis, that's a complimentary look for you. I like that look for you, so let's have that look for you the rest of the thing. You know what, folks, if you'd like to take a phone call right now.
Hey, in chat room, chat that one up a little bit. You know, I mean, I don't know which is worse, looking at his face or
turn
looking
the.
at his face.
Wow.
You have to excuse me. Here, watch out.
Find the phone number. Let's take some phone calls.
Oh, that's easy.
Yeah.
That's so easy. It's easy.
I'd like to take a phone call right now. Phone lines are open. It is you can call us
951-260-0474. The phone lines are now open. HS Game Time Live, and we'll chat it up with you. We'll find out. Maybe you can give us a result from a game we don't have. We're looking for like a Notre Dame banning. What were some of the other ones we were missing there, Lou? We got. Let's see. I'm going to go right through here. Citrus Valley, Citrus Valley, Rim of the World. I think Citrus Valley went up the hill, and I think Jeff was convinced they'd be playing in the fog.
Right.
So, and then we've got all the Southwestern League. We got Sun Belt. No, we need Paris Lakeside. Not seen that one yet. Looking down the list even farther, we don't have Norte Vista Bloomington. We don't have Patriot Summit, although we do have the Kaiser Hoopa Valley score. Oh, and look at that. We have a phone call, Lewis.
Oh, do we?
We have a phone call.
I haven't heard it yet. Oh, come over here. Answer it and turn it on.
Hi, welcome to HS Game Time Live. This is David.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Nope, it's gone.
They hung up.
They hung up.
Well, it was a feeble attempt.
It was a
but
nice attempt.
Again, 951-260-0474. You can either make fun of me and Lewis, or give us a score, or actually tell us about the game you were at. We'd really like to hear some results from some of the games we're missing at this point, but had some very interesting games so far tonight across the board, huh, Lewis?
All right, absolutely. I mean, it was the Rialto one being Cajon 27-25, and I just got a text from somebody saying that Moreno Valley played Rialto tougher than Cajon did tonight. I don't know if that's true or not.
Who did?
But Moreno Valley, because it was one of Moreno Valley's early losses. Because Moreno Valley played like a 14-4 schedule, by the way. So, are you hearing something?
Well, you're just very loud to
There
me.
we are. Hello, you're on HS Game Time Live. Who's this?
This is Robert from Ukaipa.
Hey, Robert. How are you doing, man?
Pretty good.
What's going on?
We just came back from the Rev and Redlands game,
Right.
and it's the best game that I've seen since the day when Rev played Colton.
Oh, really? So it's that kind of game, huh?
Yeah, I mean, Rev had a chance to win it with 13 seconds left. They had the ball on the half-yard line, and Rev's kicker missed it. And, I mean, went into overtime. It was the most amazing game we've seen in years.
Wow. Tremendous. So, were you a Rev fan or a Redlands fan, or did you go to just watch the game, or what were you doing?
Oh, we just went to watch it. We're from Ukaipa, right down the hill.
You're right. Well, I guess you got your money's worth. It sounds like.
Oh yeah, definitely great start to the weekend.
Great. Well, thanks for calling, buddy. We'll talk to you later, man.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Okay, bye.
I love our callers.
I don't know if that was loud enough for them to hear that. quite
Actually,
frankly.
we are like, I forgot that I was actually piped into the actual soundboard
Right.
that you kept making louder and louder. I was trying to figure out why I was going deaf.
Maybe you should plug into something other
So
than
if you
that.
want to talk with us, 951-260-0474. The phone lines are open. You can see Lewis waiting patiently.
I'm waiting
for your
patiently.
phone call.
We'd like to talk about Rialto. If you're a Rialto fan, let's give us a call. If you're a Vista Murrieta fan, let's hear what you have to say. All right, you're on HS Game Time Live. Who's this and where are you calling from?
This is Patrick from San Gregorio High School, the tennis coach.
Oh yeah, you're the best source we've got.
That's all right. Obviously, the San Andreas League is wide open with Rialto taking it to Cajon.
Absolutely.
San G had a great win for their homecoming. The stands were packed. Unfortunately, all the scoring and excitement happened the first half, but a win's a win, and definitely looking to get San G back in the playoffs. And
Yeah, I mean, San G with so you got Carter, you got San G, you got Rialto, you got Cajon. I mean, it's turned out to be one of the better stories of the season.
Hello?
Definitely, hands down. It's gonna be a wild finish. Because you got three teams now who easily win the league, and just 4 teams qualify for the playoffs. So that's just gonna be a huge scramble.
Right.
Well, and it seemed
down to the last game.
it seems that every week Sanji's in the game. I mean, I don't think there's been a game that I've seen this season where Sanji's not been in it. I mean, where are they falling short, and what things are they doing really well?
They're running the ball really well. They're passing the ball really well. It's the tackling. I saw the type of games slip through their hands because they couldn't tackle and they couldn't stop their running back. The same thing with the Carter. They just couldn't make tackles, and they had to make a furious, incredible comeback, but they were stopped short. So once they take care of the defensive side, and maybe this will boost some confidence, it'll all take care of itself.
Well, hey, thank you so much for calling. Hopefully your tennis team is doing as well as your football team. You hope your football team will. How are you guys doing this season?
We already clinched our playoff spot, so I'm good to go for the next couple of weeks.
All right.
Well, congratulations on the playoffs and best of luck in them. So we will talk to you again soon, and give us a call back next week.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Thank you.
All right.
Again, phone number 951-260-0474. If you'd like to chat it up and tell us where you were and what you saw at your game, or if you'd like to talk about another game.
All right. So listen, I want to hear from Rialto.
Look at that.
Here's a 951 number. All right. This is HS Game Time Live. Where are you calling from?
Hello.
Hello. Who's this?
This is Joel Roberts calling from the TY Animal Shelter. How are you doing today?
Good. How are you?
Great. Well, I'm calling with great news. We found your cat. It seems to be doing really well. No sign of injury.
Gee, thanks.
You couldn't tell from the very second that came on?
That was the strangest call we've had yet.
Hello.
Hello. We found your
Joel.
cat.
I was waiting for something really bad.
I was waiting for the Rancho Verde fan to call.
Okay, I don't know if I want to say this again, but we're taking calls, 951-260-0474.
I don't know, Dave. This is getting to be out of hand.
I'm telling you, you got to deal with the crazies in the room, too. If that's half of what goes bad with this show, we'll be okay. Well,
every week the show gets to be more and more crazy.
Dude, I love it, though. That was...
All right. Looking for a Rialto fan. Are you out there? Where's the camera? Rialto people, call us right now. We want to hear about your big win tonight. We also want to hear. I want to hear from San Jacinto. I want to hear from.
Another phone call. Oh, hopefully it's not Joel again.
That was the cat. All right, who are you calling? Where are you calling from?
Moreno Valley.
Moreno Valley. So, hey, turn down the computer a little bit, buddy.
Moreno Valley. Hey, turn down the computer a little bit, buddy.
Okay, sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah, the Moreno Valley game.
Yeah.
All right. So
it sounded like a great game tonight.
It was the final score, I believe, was 63-0.
Oh,
Rancho Verde.
Rancho Verde.
Oh.
So Rancho Verde fans.
Oh, the
Rancho Verde. Yeah. the only school that matters in Rancho.
Well, I don't know.
Is Rancho Verde.
I know Rancho Verde's having a great season, but we were expecting, because Moreno Valley had just beat Ramona in a lesser game of your league, but we thought you were from Moreno Valley, and we were going to talk up the fact they beat Ramona after having such a struggle this year. Far different from the prospects for Rancho Verde, who is just laying waste to the Inland Valley League yet again. How did things go tonight? Obviously, you got guys only playing half a game, huh?
Man, they have hit their second string in the whole second half of the game. So
oh, really?
They came out there. They did their job.
Hey, so what, last year, the loss in the championship game, what's different from this team this year from last year's team? Nope. Guess not.
I guess that he had all he needed to say.
That's all right. That's all right.
That's like Rancho Verde.
So the Rancho Verde's called in. We had Sanji call in. We had the weird cat. We found your cat.
That's Joel. Leave him alone.
Leave him alone. Joel
has
calling,
feelings
right.
too.
And then we had who else is called?
Doesn't matter. 951-260-0474. Hey, who we got on HS Game Time Live? This is David.
This is Anthony calling from San Jacinto.
Hey,
all right.
Anthony. So San Jacinto with the, I don't want to call it an easy win, but it was a very confident win, huh?
It was a confident win. We did pretty good starting off the first quarter, scored 4 touchdowns. Second quarter came back, kind of lagged it there. The defense, actually, I don't know what happened. Came back second half, third quarter, did all right. Beaumont actually scored on us.
So I got to ask you. We saw first half highlights, and it looks like you guys have got a plethora of weapons, ways that you can go to score touchdowns. And
yes, we have a good, decent running back. You know what I mean? He scores.
Right.
We have a quarterback. He can run it. We have some receivers that are pretty good. Pretty much, we can execute either way. so it's not bad.
Do you think Noah is one of the best backs you've seen from San Jacinto?
He definitely is. He's a power back. Like, he can get the ball through, like, guaranteed. You know what I mean? He'll get some yards.
Right.
So basically, other than that, being the best, I think like 2 years ago we had Hamilton. He was actually pretty good.
Yeah, he was a pretty good
I don't know
back.
if he's better than him, but I'm pretty sure they're close.
So that being said, where do you see your fortunes going the rest of the season, as far as rest of the schedule?
It just depends on West Valley. If we do good on West Valley, I think we'll do good. I think we'll go to CIF and hopefully win first round.
Well, West Valley, I mean, is scoring points like crazy and putting up lots of huge numbers. I mean, they got like 500 yards of offense tonight, and of course you got Citrus Hill too. And,
Citrus Hill, they're a hard team to beat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know how we'll do with Citrus Hill, but other than that, West Valley, I think as long as we conquer them and pretty much win, I think we can get the confidence to go out there and CIF and take it.
Right.
Well, basically, you know what I mean, first round and see how that goes.
Well, Coach Powell has definitely dialed it in for the team every week so far this season. So I suspect you guys will probably give both those teams a run for their money this season.
Yeah, well, hopefully. I know last year we lost by 1 point, West Valley, saw the whole thing. You know what I mean? We're up there. We won, like, it was just back and back, touchdown after touchdown, and just, you know what I mean? Basically,
that could be
on offense and defense and executing and no throwing no penalties.
That'd be a great shootout.
Go through.
Well, I thank you so much for calling in and your little report that you gave to us. Give us a call back next week, and best of luck to you.
All right.
All right, you want to give us a call, 951-260-0474. Someone's trying to call in there. So San Jacinto fans calling in, and they're clearly looking forward to
Lions are really
they're looking
up.
forward to going to beating West Valley.
Lewis, are we going to go through all your? Oh, sorry, HS Game Time Live. Who we got?
Nope.
You know, we're going to go through all your money before halfway.
I haven't spent any money. It was calling you the other day. Just calling you is the they call me. It's not as bad unless we're calling Coley.
I see. Oh,
that was what it was because we called Coley.
And he has like a 760 number. Or something?
Right. No. It was calling him somewhere.
Okay, so
else.
we got the phone lines open 951-260-0474.
Notice they didn't talk about Hemet. They didn't talk about the Hemet game.
Oh, who's they?
They haven't beaten Hemet in back-to-back seasons since like 1955.
So you wait till he gets off the phone to talk trash. That is so.
No, I'm not talking trash about that. I'm just saying that they don't care about Hemet.
That's so Hemet of you.
I don't know.
You know, he's well known in the office as Lord Banning and the mayor of Hemet.
Mayor of Hemet, right.
So he's both the mayor of Hemet and Lord Banning.
I interviewed the mayor of Hemet last night and the mayor of San Jacinto.
I know, and I heard you got to rub elbows with Saboba tribesmen.
Yeah, it was great. It was the state of the city in San Jacinto.
That's good
stuff.
It's
been a busy couple days
good
for me.
stuff. So
we're the fans. Call us up, 951-260-0474. Looking for our first caller from Rialto. Looking for our first caller. Where's the Vista Murrieta's top-notch analysis? Where's the Murrieta Valley fans to refute my assertion that Greg Ireland is not going to get it done against Vista Murrieta?
Wow. For that, I'm just going to put your mid-drift in there. Just
Hello.
for a minute.
There we go. Here we go. Here's the first call of the night. You're on HS Game Time Live. Who's this? Hello.
Hello.
Where are you calling from?
Hey, this is Dr. Pete calling.
Uh-oh. We called him out, and so he calls in. What,
You called me out.
You're the
I
silent
heard you guys.
sniper. I was talking about the fact, Doctor, that you absolutely should be in Vegas being an odds maker because you obviously do a much better.
Throw the contest up.
Yeah,
just so everyone knows on the show.
So here we go.
Dr. Pete, the good doctor, there he is. That's his call sign in the contest. He's 141-26. He's probably 20-0 this week. Did you miss any this week? I haven't looked at your picks.
I did. Well, I don't know some of the scores. I just got back from the game a little while ago.
Which game did you go to tonight?
I'm sorry, Vista Murrieta.
Oh, you actually had time to go to a game this week, huh?
I had time to go. My daughter's a senior at Vista Murrieta on the cheer team, and
right.
so I try not to miss those games.
How did Vista Murrieta look tonight against? I mean, obviously they look pretty good against Temecula Valley.
Yeah, you know what? They usually come out flat after the Chaparral game, but they actually came out pretty strong. Offense looked good. They got on the board real quick and had a 27-0 halftime lead and kind of fell asleep offensively in the second half, but the defense never gave up anything. They played tough the whole game, and it was good defensive showing after after that Chaparral game. It's always a little bit of a letdown for these guys because it's such a big game.
So, Dr. Pete, whenever you get someone who's got a lot of knowledge in something, I don't know if you watch The League or any of those shows, they usually want to go to the expert, whether he's the fantasy expert or whoever that guy is. But the interesting thing is that I have you on the phone, so I'm going to try and figure out how is it that you have the opportunity to do so well when everyone else struggles? What is it about your picking of games that separates you from everybody else?
You think I'm going to tell you that?
Yeah, we're there.
You think I'm going to tell you that?
Well, I was hoping you would tell us that.
No, I don't have a strategy.
So let me ask you this: do you just go down the list and say yes, no, yes, no? Do you do it that way, or are you actually doing some cow prep research on that? What are you doing to get the scores right?
He listens to Zinc. That's what he does.
I listen to the Monday night show, and I get all my facts from you guys, and you guys haven't steered me wrong since.
Well, I appreciate the plug for the show, but the truth is we're usually more wrong than you are.
Hey, we got to run though, Dr. Pete. We got to run, buddy. We'll talk to you next week. All right?
Hey, try not to pick so many right.
That sounds good.
All right,
I'll call you guys back.
Have a good night.
All right, this is HS Game Time Live. Who's this?
On that, okay?
Who?
Hello?
Hello, who's this?
Baseball score.
What's
Football
that?
score.
Yeah, you got a score?
Citrus Valley, 33, and Rim of the World was 26.
33-26 Citrus Valley.
33-26 Citrus Valley beats Rim of the World. Is that correct?
Yes, we won.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Have a good night.
Bye-bye.
33-26 Citrus Valley.
Ma and
What the heck happened there?
I think Ma and Pa Kettle
Don't do that now. Okay, listen. It's 10:30, everybody. This is the best show we've ever had, Dave.
This is rocking. Dr. Pete called in to call us out for giving him a hard time. That's the best ever.
Gavin Pachot's going to call us from Rialto.
But it was quickly trumped by that phone call right there.
And the weird cat call, too.
Yeah, that is great.
Your cat is available. All right, listen, everybody. We're going to give away an iPad 2 now. We're having a contest for our new iPad application where you can look at the entire replica of the newspaper on the iPad. And our iPad 2 winner, and the winner is, Dave, here it is. Shirley Peters of Riverside. You were notified. We'll be notified next week to claim your prize. Once again, Shirley Peters of Riverside, you have won a beautiful new iPad 2. So congratulations. I have an iPad. I enjoy it.
I've always wanted one.
And you won't get one.
Yeah, it's exactly right.
That's
I have an iPhone.
You got a membership to Canyon Cross Country Club instead, and you don't need an iPad, right?
I don't have that either yet.
Right. All right, so again, Shirley Peters of Riverside is our winner of the iPad 2, and there you go.
Oh, hopefully she's listening.
Hopefully Chris Erkley and Pep Fernandez can get over here and do some work.
What do you think the odds that? Okay, wait. Let's do this, Kathy. If you're listening, call 951.
I'm sure you got the name wrong. Her name is not Kathy. It's Shirley.
Shirley.
Kathy is your wife.
Shirley.
And my mother.
Shirley. Shirley, by the way, if you're listening, 951-260-0474. Call it right now so we can congratulate you in person.
Shirley Peters, give us a call. We want to talk about your iPad 2 and how we can sell it on eBay for you.
Call us now, Jenny.
All right. Give us a call. We're looking for the Rialto fans to give us a call. They pull the earphones out of my ear. And we're looking...
You're looking live at
Carter.
the newsroom.
Yeah, actually, we'd like to hear from Carter, too.
I thought Gavin Pachot was going to call us.
He may call us. Who knows? Carter is unbeaten. Rialto now 6-1. So, finally, Rialto football is no longer necessarily all about the team there at Eisenhower. So it's going to be fun to talk to those guys if whoever gets in there. Other ones that we're looking forward to, if you're a Citrus Hill fan, again, a big win for you guys tonight. You're heading for a possible collision if you were at the West Valley game. We'd love to hear your thoughts on the offensive shootout tonight. If you're from Murrieta Valley, we'd love to hear what your thoughts on what Murrieta Valley did against Great Oak, other than what Dave Zink has to say in his nonstop praise of Greg Ireland. Who is a great guy, by the way. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, that's why you mock. So what I want to do.
Why do you have the scores off?
What's that?
Why do you have the phone lines off?
Because you can't see my pretty face. So
I'm going to fix that right now.
951-260-0474. It's fine the way that it is. So what I want to do is say Citrus Valley 33. Dude, you're banging stuff around. It hurts my ears. Stop. So so at the end of the day, Lewis is just messing with the camera. Okay. You're good. Don't do that. You'll be way too far down. So Citrus Valley beating Rim. I mean, you know, who'd have predicted that?
That's not surprising.
No, it's not really surprising, but it's going up the hill, playing Rim up the hill, and coming away with a
It's like
win.
a 20-mile drive for the people from that school.
Up that windy road.
It's not that big
Come
of a
on,
deal.
you told. Wait a minute. What did you tell me about? What was the coach that?
Jim
went?
Wiesen.
Jim Wiesen
scheduled them one time when he was at West Valley, and he was like, "Oh, that was an eye opener going to that going to that game." Wait a minute, we don't want to talk to you.
You know,
we're done with you.
at some point, maybe we'll get some other people to participate in the show. Hey, what's up, Pep?
Oh, that's okay. You guys are just talking. We're doing the work back here behind the scenes. La Sierra, Elsinore, getting Harupa Valley.
We're just talking over here.
We're just, you know.
Let's just show this highlights
down the fort.
without.
It's
even,
tough to be the talent.
Yes, that's right. Put on some shoes, man.
Oh, look at this. Well, we've already called that one. Here's our ESPN analyst. If you can read that right there. Chris Erkley just brought that in. Palm Springs 59-0.
I'm glad that you're doing your work.
It's game of the night on ESPN as far as he's concerned. And I think Lewis just almost ripped his ear off.
It wouldn't be the first time.
No.
Give us a call, 951-260-0474. We'd love to hear from you. And tell us what game you were at. So.
And we are getting ready to add into more highlights. So, again, we've gone over some highlights. And we got some La Sierra and Elsinore. Is that correct?
Wait a minute. Hey, Pep, is that Elsinore?
Hi, it's David Zink with HS Game Time Live. Who am I talking with?
Charles.
Charles, where are you calling from?
Summit.
From Summit?
Yeah.
Who won that game tonight?
Summit won 51-0.
51-0. So another good win. What do you think about Kaiser had it won 13-6? What do you think about that game?
Yeah, I was surprised. The Harupa Valley is like,
Yeah, good.
Yeah, they're good this year.
Hey, buddy, your phone's breaking up on us. We're gonna have to let you go. So keep watching and keep calls back. All right. So that was
51-0 Summit.
51-0 Summit, according to the
Impressive.
Do you say that both of these are good for us?
Yeah, why not? Why would they not be?
Do we have anybody out there who can confirm the Ukaipa final?
Yeah, if you're a Ukaipa fan, give us a call.
We need a North final, too.
We would love to get a call on that. With North final. I thought we had a final on that, Jeff. Didn't we get a final on that?
I don't think so.
Huh. Well, anyway you look at it, Lewis is doing all the work. Good job, Lewis. You are spectacular.
Here they come. Here comes the La Sierra and Elsinore clips are coming in there. Once again, we'd like to hear from you again, 951-260-0474. Hey, we heard from the Rancho Verde, but we have not heard from the original Moreno Valley High School, Moreno Valley, who had a big win tonight against Ramona. We haven't heard from Rialto. They had a big win tonight. We've heard from San Jacinto. We've heard from Vista Murrieta. So drop both those in there.
So it was interesting that the Rancho Verde fan said he was with Moreno Valley. I guess Rancho Verde believes that they are the only team in Moreno Valley.
Of course they're the only team that really wins regularly.
I'm not denying it. I just find it interesting because there are 3 other high schools, right in Moreno Valley. Actually, yes, 3 other high schools.
All right, we've got highlights coming. We're going to take a break. We'll be back with more here on HS Game Time Live. I'm Louis Amestoy. This is Dave Zink, Jeff Perenni, Chris Erkley, who's barefooted again, and Pep Fernandez will be taking over the show here and returning it to sanity here in a few minutes.
HS Game Time Live. Nice. No. Come on.
Oops. Yeah, sure. Let's go. Moms everywhere are finding ways to keep kids active and healthy.
Works every time.
Get ideas, get involved, get going at letsmove.gov.
We cover the issues you care about. Here at the Press Enterprise and PE.com, local news matters whether you live along Route 66 or on Main Street. We provide regional analysis and in-depth investigation of issues like education, transportation, the environment, and much more. Important matters are covered here. That is how we keep you connected to your community. The Press Enterprise and PE.com. For home delivery, call 1-800-794-NEWS.
Do you enjoy watching HS Game Time live on Friday nights? If you do, then you'll love HSGT's Roundup. Every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday night, myself and Chris Ercole will bring you all the high school sports action, from volleyball to boys water polo, even girls tennis. You name it, we'll have it every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday night at hsgametime.pe.com.
We're Mr. Marietta Cheer, and you're watching HS Game Time Live.
Welcome to Paradise Chevrolet Cadillac, the #1 volume dealership in Riverside and San Diego counties. It's the Chevrolet season of doing. Get behind the wheel of a select new 2011 Chevy model and take advantage of 0% APR financing plus $1,000 in bonus cash. Go for the rugged 2011 Avalanche or Colorado, the rough and tumble Silverado, or even a Suburban, Tahoe, or Traverse model. Hurry into Paradise Chevrolet Cadillac today. We're conveniently located at 27360 Inez Road between Winchester and Rancho California Road in Temecula.
We're back on HS Game Time Live with David Zink and Louis Amestoy. And on the phone with us is the victorious coach of Rialto High School, Gavin Pichot. Coach, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing great right now.
Yeah, outstanding. So a win is a win is a win, but this one's a special win for you guys. You guys are looking at beating, well, I mean, look, they were semifinalists last year, weren't they?
Absolutely.
So, I'm sorry, it's just we got a bad audio connection. 1 second. So, give me a little quick rundown. How did you guys get this win?
We were able to, when they scored, we were able to answer to their scores, and I think it came down to, like I said on Thursday, it was a game that was going to come down to whoever has the most big plays, and we were able, the score to put us up at the end of the game there, towards the end of the game. It was a huge play by our quarterback and our receiver over there making that throw. He'd just come off of throwing 2 interceptions on a couple drives prior to that. So our ability to, when we get scored on and not hang our head, think it's the end of the world, that's what kept us in that game. I mean, the kids, they're believing in what we're telling them, and they just continue to fight, and we won't go away. Our kicker keeps us in games. Kicking the ball from 30 and 40 yards out, kicking field goals. So it's definitely a team effort.
Well, Coach, you came on to into this program at the start of last season. Things had been the team and the program had been struggling for several years, and you kind of, I'm not going to say you fell into it. You were on staff. There was a situation you ended up becoming the head coach. You guys had a good year last year. You come back this year. How is it that you've turned things around so quickly? I mean, did it help being a part of the program before you actually became the head coach? Or, I mean, what was it that you did to turn this program around?
Let's see. I think it did help a little bit, knowing, kind of learning some things, what not to do. I don't want to be too mean to anybody, but I think me being my first stint as head coach, and I did learn a lot over those 3 years. Kind of learning on the job experience, and I was able to bring a couple additions to the staff. Walter Isaac, who I played high school football with at Fontana High School, and for me, when I got the job, that was the first phone call I made, and he's been everything for me as far as helping me turn this thing around. I'm confident that we wouldn't be where we are without the other coaches I have, but especially without the assistance of Walter Isaac.
And then as far as the players you have, I mean, the city of Rialto has been well known for the level of athlete that come to the high schools there. Started out as Eisenhower when it was the only high school, but it's kind of vetted its way into other high schools. Carter's having a decent year this year. You guys are having a total resurgent here with the Rialto program. I mean, talk about the athletes you have on your team and how important they are to the turnaround you guys have done.
Well, I'm extremely lucky to coach a lot of 3-year players right now. Most of our seniors, they're forced into starting roles as sophomores, and they've grown with the program. I had them last year as juniors. where they really started to flourish and believe in themselves. Now this year, they're able to really show their ability out there on the field, and I think what we do defensively and offensively allows our guys to kind of let it turn themselves loose and let them get out there and go play and make plays. Tyler Telfy, who's just been incredible for us. He definitely laid his stamp on Rialto tonight. He had an outstanding game. We had a lot of guys that didn't really touch the ball tonight, but Tyler really made a name for himself tonight.
So, and then as far as the the other team, obviously Cajon. I mean, they're a very talented team. What did you guys do? What did you guys do to keep them? Because obviously, I think it was 27-25 was the final.
Yep.
So what did you do to keep Cajon kind of penned in? I mean, they usually can put up quite a few points.
Yeah. Well, we going in, we said we needed to tackle those guys, and we gave up a few big plays. Outside of the few big plays that we gave up, I thought we played pretty well against them. We didn't give up big play after big play after big play. The 24 kid is just an outstanding athlete. When he gets a football in his hands, he can take it to the house anytime. And he made some guys miss. We had a couple blown assignments and a couple missed tackles, but overall, I don't think our focus was to go in and stop them and shut them down. But we just wanted to try to slow them down and on offense, keep them off the field, put together some drives, and not let their offense touch the ball as much.
That's a winning formula. Any way you look at it, a lot of teams get that way, play some possession offense and good defense, and you end up winning a game. Now, looking forward, what do you have for the rest of the season? And I mean, you're in a position, your kids are in a position that you haven't seen at Rialto High School in a while.
Ever. Our goals coming into this season were A, make the playoffs. I think we've put ourselves in position to do that. And B, we wanted to put ourselves in position to contend for a league title. We knew that the league title went through Cajon, and we knew about this 3-game stretch that we have. We have Cajon, Carter, and San G. And we knew from last year that this is the 3-game stretch, and we're really going to have to if we want to go to playoffs, then we got to beat teams like this, or else we're just going to go to playoffs and get in there and face some team and come right back home. I think a lot of this comes from our play with Dick Bruick and my coaching with Kurt and all the people I've been with over the years. A lot of what we do at Rialto, there's a lot of old Fontana in what we're doing over there.
Well, and it seems that old Fontana has infiltrated quite a few high schools in the inland area, most of them turning out to be quite successful programs. And again, Gavin, you're turning this one around just as obviously another homage to Coach Bruick and the stuff that he taught you as you were a young coach and as a player, correct?
Absolutely.
Well, Coach,
absolutely.
I'm sorry, what?
Go ahead. Oh, I was just saying he's been everything. I had an opportunity to speak with him at the Summit Colton game, and it's just my feeling is playing for him, and I definitely want to come out and do a good job. I would hate to be a guy that's coaching under him or played for him and go out and coach somewhere. And just the way I feel about him, I would hate to be a coach that says, that guy played for me. Look at what he's doing now. We're not doing very successful. I mean, he's still a motivating factor at this point in my life.
Well, congratulations on the big win tonight, and best of luck throughout the rest of the season. Hopefully we can talk to you again in the upcoming weeks, and tell your kids we said good job.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me on.
Thank you very much. Have a good night.
All right, you too.
Well, there you have it. Gavin Pichot, the head coach at Rialto High School, talking about the way that they had defeated. Oops, sorry, I'm all caught up on my... There we go. Sorry, on my headphones. But the manner in which they had defeated Cajon High School, basically trying to tackle. I think keys for him were tackling, getting tackles and playing good defense, and then on offense being able to execute the offense. And he's got those kids believing, and I think they're going to be quite dangerous in that league this year. San Andreas League is pretty much a wide open battle at this point. You've got Cajon, who is the big dog, just got knocked off by Rialto, but you have other programs, Carter and the like, that are in the mix too. I don't know, Lewis, your thoughts on what Coach had to say?
I try not to blow out my headphones after my microphone after it fell off me like for the 4th time tonight.
So
I thought it was I love the fact what he said was that it's great to coach in a game like that because it was so exciting to play a close game, to play a good game like that. I mean, one, who would you not? Why would you not want your kid to play for a coach like that who basically talks really well? I mean, he talks so eloquently about sportsmanship and how important it is to play in a game like that. And let me tell you, like the San G tennis coach said, Patrick, saying that, hey, the San Andreas League is a lot of fun to watch because there is some parity in the league, and any given week someone can win this one, and that's been proven. So stuff.
And to speak about Coach Brook has not coached in what?
The shadow of Coach Brook.
I mean, but
Dick Bruick, Fontana
it
coach.
keeps. I mean, he hasn't coached in years now, and it more and more you see. I guess former players and disciples, guys are around. You've got everywhere from Arlington High School to his son at Revs to Gavin. You've got other coaches throughout the area. I think you have. Coach over, I think he just actually left Aquinas, who actually played for Coach Brook too. But he's got many former players who are now coaches and coaching. And I don't know what Lewis is going for.
Yes! Yes! We have defeated you, Zink! Yay!
Yeah, okay.
14-6, Banning has defeated Notre Dame.
Right.
Thanks to your great... that is a tremendous win for the Broncos.
You
Their
interrupted
first win of the season.
You interrupted this.
I interrupted your dribble for a true breaking news moment.
It just never ends. I'll tell you what, you should take a lot of
Pope,
pride.
go in there, sit down in there, and get on the microphone, put some headphones on, and we'll talk about that game.
Lewis, you should take a lot of pride in knowing that your school of 20-some hundred kids beat up on a school of 600 kids.
20-some hundred kids? What are you talking about?
How many kids are Banning?
There's maybe 1,000 kids there.
Oh, come on,
maybe 1,200.
Lewis, come on.
You're out of hand there, Zane.
You're out of hand. This whole office is out of hand. Oh, sorry.
Final score, Broncos. I love that.
I would love to.
Let me get this up here.
Dude, we can't talk to him. There's no camera on him.
That's all right. We can just.
You turned them all out to us.
He can just be the voice.
I got to turn on mic number 2, and hello.
Wait a minute. Before we go to Dennis, we can talk about Kaiser and this. Let me find this score.
Is that the game he was at? The Kaiser game?
He was at the Kaiser Harupa Valley game.
Oh, by the way, I predicted.
Oh, there it is. There it is. There it is. Show it, Zink. Show it. I was one of only like 10 people to call that game.
Every dog finds a bone every now and again.
Let me see. Wait. Let me see here.
Boy.
97. I was one of 9 people. 9 people. 310 people picked against the Broncos, including yourself.
But enough about you.
Show it again, Zink.
Oh, show it again. Oh, there we go. Okay, so now we have it. Banning defeated Notre Dame. Gutty little Notre Dame. Okay, so good for you, Lewis.
You know what? Don't tell me the gutty. I mean, you get kids from like here, there, and everywhere else.
Dude,
Come on
now. They beat a 2-win team.
They were winless. Banning was winless.
They're not winless anymore, and they beat a 2-win team.
It's
Notre Dame's winless in league.
That's an old rivalry.
Yeah. Okay.
You played against Banning. I played against Notre Dame.
Let's move on to more pressing issues.
Dennis Pope's in there somewhere talking to us about the Kaiser game.
Senior Pope?
Yeah, Senior Pope. He's talking about
Kaiser.
Kaiser.
If I get a camera on you, it'd be
4
like
games on here.
Golden. Yeah, we'd rather have him on Lewis than on.
Ask him some questions about the game, and I'll go move to.
So, Dennis.
Yes, Dave.
You have to talk up to the mic.
I'm in.
Oh, that sounds great. You sound very sultry. Okay, so the game, the Kaiser game.
That's right.
Was it a typical Kaiser choke them out on defense, ball control, game over?
Yes, I'd say that. Yeah, they had 3 possessions in the second half. All of them were over 5 minutes. It was just, typical Kaiser football.
And so, I mean, you tell me your highlights from that game. I didn't get to see it. So what was it about that game that turned it in Kaiser's favor?
Just ball possession in the second half. Their ability to keep possessions going. To limit penalties. And Harupa, I don't know if they've ever had a 6-0 lead over Kaiser in their school history, so maybe a little bit of jitters, second half jitters played into it.
Well, and Harupa was obviously kind of a surprise this year based on the previous couple years. But that being the case, they were having one heck of a good year. They still are having one heck of a good year, but this kind of put a damper on things. It put a damper on a lot of things. A lot of people were actually picking Harupa to win this game. I mean,
actually picked
I think the
Harupa to win
guy
this game.
adjusting the cameras thought Harupa would win this game.
Yeah.
And although he's been right on one, I think it was Banning. Was it Banning that he was right on? He's still struggling to pick games properly. It's
well,
not.
You
a
picked
strong
against La Sierra again, Dave. So
what's that?
You picked against La Sierra again.
I did, and I'm proud of it.
Well,
I'm not afraid to say that I picked against La Sierra. Come on, you thought La Sierra was going to win?
Not last week, but this week, yeah. I saw Valley View already. I know that they didn't have what it took to beat La Sierra.
It was a close game till late. It was a 3-quarter game. The 4th quarter was La Sierra's, and that's how they won it. So don't make it sound like they just kicked the tar out of Valley View. You're kind. Oh, by the way, in case you didn't know, he graduated from La Sierra. Is that not correct?
That is correct.
Okay, let's full disclosure. Let's just let it be known.
Well, if you guys are going to talk about Banning and Notre Dame all night.
No, you could talk about La Sierra,
All
but you
right.
first have to make sure that people know you went there.
Oh, do I?
because then it makes you sound like you're some type of great prognosticator instead of a hominator.
Well, I mean, they have been, 1 in 2,000 the last 10 years.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. Well, and they went through that period with the striped socks that was really embarrassing, and there's been other things that La Sierra has done. But
That are
they did some great.
embarrassing, yeah.
Hey, they were on the KTLA Morning News a week ago.
Oh, really? I missed that.
Wow, the game of the week with Rancho Verde, and then they went out and laid an egg. Do you remember that?
Yeah, no,
Okay.
I
just want to make sure you remember that one.
And
Just like we laid an egg against Banning this week.
Who's playing against Banning this week?
No, I said just like we laid an egg.
Oh.
That we means Notre Dame.
Notre Dame,
See,
right.
you throw a
Yeah.
we in there.
When you
It's
say
horrible.
we and Notre Dame, I'm disassociated from that completely.
Yeah. So tell me this: Zelaya and Kaiser, do they look like a playoff team, or is this just? I mean,
They don't
what's your
look
thoughts?
like
You have a pretty
previous
good eye,
Kaiser teams,
right?
In the respect that they're very inexperienced. The quarterback's a sophomore. Their running back tandems, they're both juniors. If they have experience, it's on the lines. So I guess that plays a function, but as like the skill position players, all very inexperienced. So that's something new for Kaiser, I think.
Yeah, and that being the case, you didn't answer my question. Do you think they look like a playoff team?
In the Sunkist League, yes, but is that the Eastern Division?
Yeah.
Right.
Right. You got a lot of big dogs in that
I
division.
can't see them getting out of the first round. I really don't.
Yeah. So do you see it being something like a Summit Kaiser 1-2 again, or do you see something different?
I don't see any way around that. Harupa's not going to beat Summit, and I don't think Kaiser's going to beat Summit. So the way it stands now,
1-2
Summit, and then Kaiser beating Harupa. Yeah.
Right.
So yeah.
And then game over. Yeah. And so you came back. You looked at some of the scores from some of the other scores. What do you see as being some of the shocking parts of tonight? Did you happen to see that? What was the other big game? Well, you saw we were just talking to Rialto coach Gavin Pichot, who they defeated Cajon 27-25. That's surprising.
I
if you
picked
ask
that.
me. I did.
But,
I did not.
I knew that Rialto was playing at home, probably the biggest home game that they've had in who knows how long.
Right.
And Cajon, they hadn't played a playoff team in like 3 weeks, so
yeah.
Probably they were playing a little bit above their weight, maybe a little bit, and Rialto, punched them in the nose.
Well, and teams like Cajon, with a ton of athletic ability, and they usually rely on that athletic ability to outplay teams. They get themselves sometimes in a predicament where they're playing a team that's a good X's and O's team. Right. Good, they can play some decent defense. Gavin said it was all about tackling, and he emphasized that during the week, and that's what stopped them. They kept them under control and kept them kind of penned in. They weren't able to just run wild, and Cajon just flourishes when they can get a lead and run wild on people, or
as simple
open
as it
the game
sounds,
up.
tackling is a huge thing for these high school kids.
Yeah.
Every coach that I talk to pretty much is like, we didn't tackle or we did tackle, and that was a function of winning or losing the game. So
yeah,
I'm not surprised. I would say a surprise from what I saw on TV was Norco actually losing to Centennial, considering they had twice as much possession of the football than Centennial did. It was like 31 minutes for Norco and only like 18 or something like that for Centennial. That's shameful for Norco.
And from what I saw, Norco's just not having. It's an off year. I mean, it's just kind of an off year. There are some. You would even just because of the Centennial Norco league rivalry, you would think that they would come out and play a little bit better. And I don't think they played horribly. Just Centennial looked head and shoulders above.
And it does seem like they have a real idea of what they want to do on offense.
No, I think they kind of went away from what they do well, don't you?
Right.
I mean,
Well,
it's
giving
kind
the
of
ball to Gerhardt in every play and letting him decide whether or not he wants to run or throw. I mean, that's no way to run an offense.
well, and that's not the way they've run it before. I mean, in past seasons, if they had 3 passes in a game, you were shaking your head.
Right.
And that's not what they did. That's not what they've done in recent past. And they've kind of changed from everything they did. Now, not that they can't grow into that. They're still a young team. I mean, they still got Jigby and the younger Gerhardt still coming back and all those things. So it's not a complete negative, but
they're still going to be a playoff
anytime
team.
anytime Norco is playing or with a record like this, there's always probably people in Norco in a semi-panic.
Yeah, no, jumping on their horses.
It's
yeah.
a tough league.
Yeah.
I mean, it is a tough league. But they played Santiago, right? They've played Santiago this year. When they did,
They lost to San Diego.
Exactly, and I know people that predicted that would happen, which is shocking in and of itself.
Yeah, the other thing about Norco is they're really, really small and inexperienced on the defensive backfield. Yeah, when I watched them against, did I see them against? Saw them against. It was Etowanda that I saw them play against, and the Etowanda quarterback Cuthbert, he tore him up pretty good.
Yeah, yeah, and in other games, it's just the scores that come back don't seem to say that's a Norco team or a Norco game.
You're right.
But going on to the other ones, you got Rancho Verde handling things. You got Moreno Valley defeating Ramona, which is. It sounds shocking on an 0-10 team coming into the next season, but that's an upset.
Yeah.
I mean, Moreno Valley has not played exceptionally well football or good football, but they seem to play pretty well tonight.
Yeah, the Vikings, they play down to their competition maybe a little bit. And Ramona, I mean, as much as we like to talk about Ramona and their quarterback and, what a feel-good thing that is, they just don't have the skill position players. They have 4 or 5 guys, maybe total that the entire team and every ball and every possession runs through. And other than that, I don't know. I can't see Ramona even making the playoffs.
Yeah, at the start of the season you couldn't either.
Right.
So I mean, really, the season they're having is pretty much it's an improvement.
Right.
I think once they started out of the gates fast, people expected a lot more from them. T.J. Miller being the quarterback,
Right.
and he's got pretty good talent. I mean, he's pretty smart behind the center there. But if they make the playoffs, it's an absolute banner year for them, right?
Right.
Based
and
on an
a
0-10 last
down
year.
year for the Inland Valley.
Yeah. Oh wow. Man, you got to take it easy. Quit beating up on the Inland Valley League.
I mean, Rancho Verde should be bumped up to the Big 8 or something.
Well, next year, leagues change.
Right.
So
but that doesn't. I mean, Rancho Verde is still going to be playing with the other Moreno Valley schools and still tearing them to pieces.
Right. But they lose the Riverside schools, which go in with I think it's North and Riverside Poly.
Right.
Kings left to fend off the rest of the Corona Norco schools. Yeah. I don't know how that works. Somebody
the Super Corona Conference.
Isn't that a nuts and bolts? Somebody got,
Yeah.
I don't know how that works that they can do that, but it is what it is. Nonetheless, it looks like we've got Pep Fernandez in the house. Is that right, Pep?
I'm almost in the house.
Almost in the house. He's checking mics and,
Now I'm in the house.
Okay, Pep's in the house. Lewis, can I close this? I think I can. I'm asking Lewis if I can close this. Lewis, can I close this? This one, you were doing something here. Okay, never mind. So, guys, how's it going? How's it going, Pep?
It's going great, Zink. I'm just sitting back there listening to you guys talk about all these games. I'm trying to get caught up exactly what happened tonight.
Well, I tell you what, it's been pretty exciting. Some games that weren't expected to be the result that they were. We've had some upsets. I think Rialto defeated Cajon. We've got Moreno Valley. We were just talking about that. Moreno Valley and Ramona. Moreno Valley comes out on top against Ramona for, I think it is their first win of the year. Is that right?
Who? I'm sorry.
Second win of the year. Yeah. I'm sorry. Not sure. Just not sure. So I got to give a thanks to Mr. Pope for coming in and filling some time with me. Thank you very much.
Yeah, he was at the, I'm sure he already told you, the Kaiser Harupa Valley game. We got the highlights cut. That was a battle, low-scoring battle, as you would probably expect from Kaiser. They got an awesome defense, and they want to keep the score low, and they did that, and they picked up a road win at Harupa Valley, which was their first loss of the season because they have a tie.
That's right. And, yeah. Yeah, we don't want to talk about that. Lewis's Banning beat my Notre Dame Titans. And
how did that happen?
Horribly is what happened there. So we will have to, why don't we do this? Why don't we take a quick break real quick, and then we'll come back and we'll go straight to the highlights. What do you say?
We got a ton of highlights.
Ton of highlights. So if you hold on just 1 minute, we will be right back with you. Then again, okay. There?
Nope.
Promise we'll get the highlights to you in just a second.
One.
And welcome back to HS Game Time Live. I'm Pep Fernandez, and we've got a ton of highlights to pass your way. Louis Amestoy back getting all the scores in for us, so we'll bring all the scoreboards to you. Brought to you by Paradise Cadillac Chevrolet, our fine friends in Temecula. Chris Ericoli, who I hope he's working back there because we want to see these Centennial Norco highlights. I know he's working on those, and we'll get those momentarily. But we're going to start with the big game taking place in the Citrus Belt League in Redlands. Redlands East Valley taking on the Terriers in the annual Smudge Pot game. Here we go. Revs, Austin DeCoux passes to Darius Parison. And it looked like a little trickeration play on that one. That would set up the Wildcats' first score of the game. Taylor Thompson fighting his way through traffic, gets in for the score. 7-zip, Redlands East Valley on top. Then later, the Wildcats back to punt. Redlands will receive this. That's John Pinales. On the return, number 20 somehow bobs and weaves his way around the Wildcat defense, and he'll take this one. I'm doing the math real quick. 68 yards for the touchdown. That ties the game at 7 each. Now we move to the third quarter. Still tied at 7. Redlands, Craig Lee in the backfield. Gets the call, and he will go 88 yards, blasting past the Wildcats secondary. And that would give Redlands the 14-7 lead at Dodge Stadium. You can tell they were going bonkers there. But Rev would tie it up in the third. DeCou calls his own number, gets in 14-14. But we go to overtime, and it's DeCou again. Calls his own number on the keeper. And Redlands East Valley wins the Smudge Pot game by a final score of 21-14. So a big-time rivalry in the Citrus Belt League. I see the Prep Dog back in the house from that game. And
go to what?
You want to come on in, Prep Dog? Prep Dog was there at Dodge Stadium at, I believe it's called Jim Walker Field, where Redlands East Valley, maybe the
that's them,
stubbed their toe on in league play and before running this undefeated league season, but they got past the Terriers, Prep Dog. It was close.
Dodge Field.
It's not Dodge Stadium?
Field Stadium.
Maybe I just promoted it. You know what? Quick story.
I called it Jim Walker.
I went to Google Maps, and it says Jim Walker Field at Dodge Stadium.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know.
Maybe
I'll go
something.
with you. I'll go with you on this one. So, Prep Dog, you were at the game. All I saw was the highlights that everyone else saw here on HS Game Time Live. 21-14, your final score. Rev gets it done in overtime, but the Terriers almost had him in this one.
Yeah, it was really a heck of a game. Rev had been ranked as high as number 2 in the state by, I think, Max Preps and CalPreps.com. But Redlands came out. They were playing hard. They were actually ahead 14-7 at one point, and they took them to overtime. And Rev really had to work for this victory.
Now, last week against Miller, Rev, maybe another scare, another hurdle they had to cross, but they did. They got the win. A win's a win. And then this week, another scare from their crosstown rival in Redlands. What does it say about Rev? Are they just getting everyone else's A game every time they play every time someone plays the Wildcats?
Well, I think that Rev was definitely the favorite going into both the Miller and the Redlands game, and the fact that they kind of squeaked by in both games. On one hand, you kind of wonder about them a little, but as I said in my game story, they do have a penchant for winning close games, which speaks well of them, especially under Coach Bruick.
And how about the Terriers? They posted 14 points on that Wildcat defense, something Mission Viejo couldn't do. They only had 7 against Rev.
Yeah, 7 of the points came on a punt return. Their offense was only able to muster 7 points. But as Coach Walker said after the game, it indicates that they're headed in the right direction, especially for, a team that's 2-5.
And what about your glance or your view from high atop your luxurious press box? Was the atmosphere raucous? I mean, how would you describe it there? I guess you were saying going into it, you were thinking about 6,000 people there in Jim Walker Field at Dodge Stadium or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, it was definitely packed. I mean, the Rev stands were jam-packed, and then the Redlands stands, which are more spacious, were nearly full. So it was a very good crowd out there, great atmosphere. I think it's one of the most heavily attended games of the season.
All right, we're going to get to Heritage Paloma Valley in just a second, Zink. But one more question for the Prep Dog here. So the Smudge Pot, it's an actual trophy, right? So Rev gets to take it back to campus. Is that how it works?
Yeah, they get to retain it. It is a smudge pot. These were devices that were used to heat the citrus fields back in the 40s, 50s, 60s until the 70s, when there were concerns about the atmosphere and so forth. And
too cold at night. Is that pretty much what it boils down to? Or?
Right. So they don't use them anymore, but they have half of it painted. They have half of it painted blue and half of it painted red for the colors of the respective schools.
Nobody wants a citrus freeze in this area. Prep Dog, you're the man. Thanks for your analysis. We
All
appreciate
right.
it. Once again, Rev 21-14 over the Terriers. Moving on, we're going to go to Heritage Paloma Valley in the Sun Belt League. We do more than football here, history lessons as well. Thank you, Prep Dog. Heritage Paloma Valley, here we go. It's 14 yards by Lima High. Hefo, he gets in for the score. Second quarter, the Wildcats drive the length of the field, but they're stuffed at the 1 by that Patriot D. On the very next play, though, you guessed it, Jamal Morrow turns the corner. They couldn't get 1 yard, but the Patriots go 99 back the other way, and Heritage goes up 14-zip. Long run there by Jamal Morrow. Paloma Valley would get on the scoreboard on the final play of the first half. Brent Beaumite connects with Anthony Johnston for a 25-yard score. So Johnston gives them, cuts into that Heritage lead. Then it's Jamal Morrow again for Heritage. This time, not 99 yards, but he will get in for dive it in the final 5 yards on this 45-yard run. The Patriots' final score came on this 16-yard pass from Chad Virgil to Darius Allensworth, going Megatron on that one. And the Heritage Patriots claimed the Menifee Bowl with a 28-14 victory over the Paloma Valley Wildcats. Strong win there. Okay, we're going to get to Temescal Canyon and Elsinore in just a second. There it is once again, 28-14. Heritage a winner. So they are now, we have a little carrot sign up there, but we can tell you they're 2-0 in the always competitive
That's a
Sun Belt
special
League.
sign.
That means they're infinity winners, right?
Yes,
Something like
that's
that.
right. To infinity and beyond.
It doesn't matter who they're going to play in the future. It's going to be in the win column. So, all right, we can go to Temescal Canyon and Elsinore, and maybe we'll jump into some Big 8 action. Here we go, Temescal Canyon and Elsinore. Elsinore attempts to make a touchdown close to the end of the second quarter, but it was this play here by Alan Stubbs with the breakaway. It says all the way to a touchdown. If you could read my script, there's a lot of L's and Y's and O's all the way to for a touchdown. And then the kick gave Elsinore the lead, 7-0 at halftime. So a real defensive struggle in this one with 7-zip. There you go at the half. Now, try as they might, Temescal Canyon, they complete a long pass on this one. Hauls it in there. As we said, points were at a premium in this game. Only to turn it over to Elsinore. Bit of a struggle for momentum, but Elsinore would recover the ball after this one, and that would set up field position for Elsinore. They get a field goal, and that's it. That's all they would need. 10-zip your final score. Elsinore defeats Temescal Canyon 10-zip, so the shutout there by Elsinore. They are 6-1 overall, 2-0 in the Sun Belt League. All around good guy, good friend of the show, and host of HS.
I like how Angel
Chris Erickley joining us.
Angel augmented those highlights from Elsinore. Do you see he he made the score a little bit more legible?
He's our graphics specialist, so it would only be appropriate.
Right.
Or maybe they just really like the Elsinore score and they have a special device to make it really stand out. No,
maybe that can be his team. We always get, have a special team assigned to somebody. Maybe
is Norta Vista still your team, or have you jumped off that bandwagon yet?
Well, I think we all know what my main team is, Pep.
The old PS, Palm Springs.
They're just too good to really play anybody out here, so they have to play Coachella and the like, And
Indio, we all know powerhouse what Indio is. So
we are pulling for that Rancho Verde PS CIF game, though.
But you know what? That's a long ways down the road. Let's talk about here and now and the drama that unfolded at the Centennial Norco game.
Well, the most special moment tonight for me at the Centennial Norco game was when a gentleman asked if I was Pep Fernandez because he thought that I was out at the Poly.
Because we do look very similar. So.
Yes. Pep said my Latin brother. As he described himself.
You thought you were Pep Fernandez?
No, well, it was a little confusing. He said, weren't you out at the Poly Centennial game? And I said, no, I believe that was Mr. Pep Fernandez. And I told Pep that when he got back, and Pep described himself as my Latin brother, which
brothers from another mother.
Close enough.
We're brothers here on the HS Game Time team. So
it was a star-studded affair out there tonight at Corona or Centennial because FSN was out there, and of course Hayden Gavitt saw the cameras. He would be putting on a show. grinding his way down to the 4-yard line, running all over the place tonight. A few plays later, Gavitt fakes the handoff and dives into the end zone for the score. 21-6 Centennial at the time. Later in the second quarter, the Centennial offense continues to roll. This time it's Gavitt to chase Cravache. A wall of fans blocks me from getting the play. That's what happens when you're down on the sideline. He would go all the way down to the 5-yard line, and that would set up this field goal by Rigo Luna. 24-6 would be the Husky lead at half. The struggles continue for Colton Gerhardt in Norco in the second half here. Gerhardt picked by Mr. Kalunga, Isaac Kalunga, that is. And, of course, that means it's time for another touchdown run from Mr. Hayden Gavitt, running through the Norco defense, 31-6 Centennial. Later in the third quarter, some collect stamps, others baseball cards. Mr. Kalunga, he collects footballs. This one, his second interception of the game. He would put Centennial in prime field position, and, of course, only appropriate for things to be finished off with another Hayden Gavitt touchdown run. That one with a possible broken left forearm. He would be looked at after the game, sent for x-rays. Definitely Coach Logan and the staff is holding their breath, waiting to get the report back from the good doctor after that one. We will have to see. Centennial did win 45-18, which is huge for them, a big win. Norco was trying to compete there for the top of the league play, but if Hayden Gavitt is out, that is most definitely going to shake things up for the Huskies, and some nervous moments, you got to say, after a win like that for them.
Yeah, because a broken arm doesn't exactly heal overnight.
No.
It could change the complexion of the Inland Division rankings.
I'm not a doctor, but
you play one on the
yeah,
internet.
but I did stay at a Holiday Inn, and the good thing for him is that it was on the non-throwing hand, the left arm, which I've been told that maybe he could play with a soft cast. That is, if it is a fracture, maybe it could.
So
be
it was
a
his
deep
left arm.
bruise.
If you're
Yeah,
looking at him, it was
his
his
left
right,
arm.
but it was his left
no,
arm.
you could tell the previous play he was definitely in severe pain after that, but being the gamer that he is, he stuck it in there and kind of ran that ball in. As you can see, wasn't really touched, luckily, but you could tell when he went back to the trainer right after that play, he was in severe pain. And
but a super tough guy. He put some ice on it and still did like a bunch of media interviews and was hanging out after the game.
He was getting the interview with FSN after the game, kind of holding the arm stiff there.
So no rush to get to the hospital.
He's probably hanging out at one of the Corona emergency rooms right now as we speak. Best of luck to him, though, on that.
Yeah, their quarterback and arguably the fastest guy on the team.
Running a 4.40. EPJ's coming in right now to discuss things. Maybe he was over there at the emergency room with Mr. Gavitt. Maybe he looked over the x-rays himself with EPJ. You never know. EPJ, any word on Mr. Gavitt?
Probably doesn't look good. I mean, looking at Coach Logan's face, definite concern there. It looks like they're, I guess the initial report is maybe a fracture or a break in his left forearm. So, but who knows? They're going to get an X-ray tomorrow and maybe tonight and see what happens. But, that definitely would be a blow. Gavitt has been their offensive spark plug, 4 total touchdowns tonight, almost 300 yards of total offense. So, Robert Weber came in, first offensive drive, didn't look good. Second one, they were able to score a touchdown. Weber more of a passer than a runner, so I think that definitely, if he becomes the guy, would limit that offense a little bit. But
I mean, if Gavitt's out? Do you think he can come back and play since that's the non-throwing hand, or what's going to happen?
Well, I mean, it's definitely going to be tough. I mean, he might be able to come back late in the season, but if there is a fracture or a break in that arm, you got to think, even though he's a right-handed thrower, he runs so much that you keep taking hits on that, and you got to also figure it's going to affect the snap. I mean,
well, hypothetically speaking, like Centennial, they have the huge offensive line,
right?
And Goodman is a stud running back, so maybe they, if they could buy him a couple weeks, just hand off the ball more.
But we did see what Norco did today. Is, I mean, you take away two long touchdown runs by Romello Goodman. He was not doing that much. He did finish with 130 yards rushing, but 80 of those came on 2 touchdown runs, or 2 long runs, and other than that, he was held to 16 carries for about, 40 yards. So Norco basically said, we want to take Goodman away and make Hayden Gavitt beat us, and which Todd Gerhardt said, which Gavitt did.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, Gavitt is that dual threat. Robert Weber right now, I don't think anyone's seen where his running ability is at right now. He's definitely got a strong arm and can throw the ball, so it could alter a little bit how Centennial goes about defensively. But we need to see where Gavitt is. But if he's out, Centennial's through most of the tough part of their schedule. They've already played North, they've already played Santiago, and they've played Norco. But it's definitely would take a small hit because you're basically breaking in a brand new quarterback who has very limited varsity experience. Weber last year did get it. He was the quarterback who got into a lot of blowout games at the end of the games, and he said he got a little bit of experience today, so we'll see.
Well, we all know for Centennial what matters is the playoffs, though, and this would definitely have a huge impact on their potential to make a run in the playoffs. That's for sure.
Yeah, like I said, it all comes down to how quickly Weber can, if he's got to go in, can get the full grasp of that offense. This is the first time this year he's worked with that first team offense in a game. So, and like I said, the first drive, wasn't much. They were forced to punt, and he actually got off a beautiful punt, 48-yarder. But second drive around, they scored a touchdown. So that's a little bit of a boost if he has to go in there. But the big thing, like I said, for Centennial, with this change, they are past the toughest part of their schedule. They've played the 3 toughest teams in the league right now.
All right, well, definitely going to be a moment of crossing their fingers
Next
over there
couple
at
days,
Centennial. Yeah.
Some angst over there in Corona as we find out what's going to happen with Hayden Gavitt. As you said, EPJ, maybe the fortunate thing is the hardest part of their schedule is over, so maybe they can coast through the last couple games and
they still have Roosevelt, Corona, and King are their last 3 games. I think right now if there's any doubt on Gavitt, they'll play it easy because they figure they could probably get past those games. The big thing, like I said, Coach Logan said not a perfect game tonight, but they did do a good job, number one, of taking advantage of Norco's mistakes, which Coach Gerhardt just still shaking his head. He's just frustrated at why this team keeps turning the ball over. 4 more turnovers tonight, and against Centennial, you can't do that.
All right, so Centennial's a winner. Chris, you're going to have Santiago and Corona highlights shortly.
I'm going to be chopping those up right now.
Chop them up. We're going to get to the Inland Valley League in just a second. La Sierra and Valley View. Thanks, EPJ, for that analysis. And Centennial a winner despite losing quarterback Hayden Gavitt to a possible, we'll have to wait and see exactly what the diagnosis is, but a possible broken or fractured non-throwing arm. So to the Inland Valley League, La Sierra and Valley View, 2 teams still looking up to Rancho Verde in the league standings, but both teams with only 1 loss in league play, trying to stay in that second place position in the Inland Valley League standings. So let's take you out there to Valley View High School homecoming out there for the Eagles against La Sierra. They picked a tough homecoming opponent. First quarter, Johnny Salazar to R.J. Smith, who moonwalks into the end zone. 7-zip La Sierra. Still in the first quarter. Valley View's Abraham Nuno to Sterling Winston hauls it in for the big gain. And then later on that same drive for Valley View, that would set up Will Evans getting in for the touchdown. That ties the game at 7 apiece. Still in the first quarter, Matt Sandoval splits the uprights, and Valley View takes the lead 10-7. Still in the opening frame, a lot of action in the first quarter. Noel Quinones breaks off the touchdown run, runs somebody over. 13-10 La Sierra after 1. And how about this wacky fan in her red mohawk? I promised I'd put her on. She wanted to be on the show, so there you go. Sandoval, another field goal, 13-13, game tied up. But then there's Quinones, the big fella again. 21-13, La Sierra leading at halftime. To the third quarter now, and it's Michael Harrison coming up for Valley View. Check out this run here. Looks like he's going to be brought down, maybe stopped, breaks out of that tackle, puts it in spin cycle, and finds the paint. Valley View trailing 21-19. They go for the 2-point conversion to tie this thing up. Nuno to Rashad Stevenson on the fade, hauls it in, and 21-21, we are all tied again. Now it's La Sierra with the ball, still in the third quarter. Jimmy Stepanek with the catch, but Valley View's Donovan Brooks coming in with a big hit. Now we move to the fourth quarter. Salazar to Quinones. Salazar buying time. You know the guy can scramble, then airs it out, and he is wide open for the touchdown. 27-21. And then later in the fourth quarter, the duo of Salazar to Smith hooking up for a touchdown strike. And La Sierra goes on to win 35-21, your final score. So they are 6-1 overall on the season, 3-1 in league play. So they are now in second place in the Inland Valley League standings. Valley View 6-2. Their other loss to the Rancho Verde, who La Sierra also lost to. All right, so EPJ, we know Rancho Verde's at the top of the Inland Valley League, and then there's everybody else. But La Sierra is a pretty good second-place team.
Yeah, I like La Sierra and just kind of that little mix of, Salazar has that experience at quarterback. He's been starting since his freshman year, and then Noel Quinones, a very physical running back at his size. He's also one of their star linebackers. But we've seen in the last couple of weeks, even against Rancho Verde and some other teams, that combination of Salazar and R.J. Smith has been clicking big time. It's one of the better, 1-2 punches for passing, receiving in the area. So La Sierra definitely looking like the number 2 team out of this league.
And moving forward with La Sierra, I mean, there was a coach on the sideline that said, Rancho Verde deserves to be maybe in another league or something because they're just, across the board, they're just the best team in the league and everyone else is just fighting for second place. But La Sierra and Valley View, their only loss heading into this matchup was Rancho Verde. Yeah.
And you got to remember, since the Inland Valley League was formed, Rancho Verde's only lost once, and that was to Moreno Valley back in 2007. So, kind of just run through that league, save for one game, and rarely tested. I mean, which good and a bad thing. They're definitely putting up some big scores and everything, but does it hurt them when it comes to playoff time when they're not getting that day-to-day competition that teams like the Southwestern League, Big 8 League get? They're getting that test every single week, and I think that definitely propels them ahead when the playoffs come. When Rancho Verde, are they going to go 7-8 weeks without a competitive game, and when they finally maybe get themselves
in a close
one, are they going to know what they need to do to win those games? That's the definite question for Rancho Verde each and every year.
That's a good point. Okay, we're going to move to the Sunkist League. Kaiser and Jurupa Valley, stick right there, EPJ, because we're going to talk the Kaiser Cats in just a second. Kaiser and Jurupa Valley. Jurupa Valley had not lost this season. They do have that tie, but in Kaiser, maybe the cream of the crop, their decade of dominance in the Sunkist League, and they were going on the road to try to pick up a victory here. Early on in this one, that Kaiser defense is always pretty good. Number 23 coming up with the interception there for the Cats. And then later, the first touchdown of the game in the second quarter, Martin Ricardo to Daniel Cervantes on the touchdown strike there for Jurupa Valley. So Jurupa Valley takes the early lead. It was that score at halftime, 7-0. In the third quarter, Ryan Moda, broken play there, but the quarterback makes a 4-yard touchdown run out of it, and Kaiser takes a 7-6 lead. It would stay that way until the fourth quarter, final 2 minutes of the game, and Kaiser puts this one away. Talib Isom, 33 yards on the touchdown run, and Kaiser goes on to defeat Jurupa Valley 13-6. But EPJ, we've learned that Jurupa Valley is a team to be reckoned with in this league. Put up a pretty good fight against Kaiser.
Yeah, I mean, Jurupa definitely a bounce-back year. A very experienced squad, a lot of seniors. I think they've just slowly built through some tough years, and they're coming through. And I think at some point, Kaiser had to be wondering, is this deja vu? You mentioned the decade of dominance of Kaiser. Since 2001, Kaiser is now 51-1 in league play over those last 52 league games, and the only team to have beaten them was Jurupa Valley. So, definite good showing for Jurupa Valley here, probably showing themselves as a worthy playoff team out of this league. And, who knows? They put together a good game. Summit looks like the best team out here, but as a lot of coaches will tell you, until someone proves that Kaiser isn't the team to beat, they are still the team to beat. So that's going to be a great showdown when that does happen.
And when you look
matchup of Fontana,
and when you look at that, we've talked about this before. Summit has all those great skill guys, Dante Dion and Jamal Williams.
They had them last year too, and they still did not find.
Yeah, and Kaiser has that defense. It's kind of like the two, opposite styles.
Yeah, and it comes down to at what point does that mystique of Kaiser and what they've done over the last 11 years, kind of wear off. And that's going to be the big thing. Is Summit still going to go in thinking, why can't we beat Kaiser, or what's it going to take to beat Kaiser? They just need to go in there and play their game, and they will be able to do that. So, but, Kaiser right now still proving that they are a quality football team.
All right, we got San Jacinto and Beaumont highlights getting ready to roll out in this one. And, of course, we'll get EPJ's analysis as soon as we get through the highlights. San Jacinto, a 38-13 winner against Beaumont tonight. Early in this one, first quarter, it's Drew Rogers for San Jacinto. Goes in for the touchdown there for San Jacinto. Then it's the kick return. Beaumont back to punt. and it's going to be number 6, Eric Hill, fielding this punt for San Jacinto in the pink socks. Nice look there. And Eric Hill, look good, feel good, play good. Eric Hill all the way back for the touchdown for San Jacinto. And then later, Noah Wiggins, the San Jacinto big running back, always making big plays here on HS Game Time Live. And Wiggins takes this handoff, and he gets down the sideline and in for the score. And you can tell in this one, San Jacinto beating up on Beaumont. Later, the quarterback, Kevin Clark, the fake, and he's going to break off some would-be tacklers, shakes one more right there all the way down the sideline. A lot of weapons on this San Jacinto team. They lost in their opener in week 0 against Heritage, but they've rolled ever since. So it's Clark with the touchdown. Now we move to the second quarter. It's Wiggins again. Oh, he catches the ball too, EPJ. What does this guy not do, the big fella? And then still in the second quarter, it's Wiggins again out of the backfield, takes this pass. And that's going to be good enough for a first down. But check out the good tackle, they tell me, by Beaumont on the end of that one. Still in the second quarter, it's Eric Hill back to receive a punt again. Beaumont punting. Eric Hill's going to field it already deep into Beaumont territory, but the Beaumont would bring him down to stop him. And Noah Wiggins, how about one more catch? Really mixing it up. He's always in here for great runs he makes. Hauls in a catch there. San Jacinto goes on to beat Beaumont 38-13, your final score. So San Jacinto gaining some steam, 6-1 right now, number 9 in the Eastern Division rankings at this point, led by Noah Wiggins. He's running the ball. Now he's catching the ball in our highlights.
Yeah, I mean, he was out for 2 games with an injury, and ever since he's come back these last couple of weeks, big monster rushing game last week, he has become, that second and third. They have 3 just big-time weapons on offense. Casey Clark, quarterback, is a good dual threat. Wiggins adds the running game, and Malik Kimbrough, their number 1 receiver. And, I mean, if people want to go out and maybe see an exciting game, which I think a lot of offense is going to be scored, wait till the Citrus Hill San Jacinto battle in a couple of weeks. That is going to be a fun game, to decide the Mountain Pass League championship. So the 2 great offenses. We'll see 2 great running backs in Davey and Noah Wiggins.
How about
Here we go. Here we go.
West Valley.
Interrupted is that
now it's getting juicy.
No, I didn't.
Lewis is in the building.
He missed the one. How about the San Jacinto West Valley game? That's the better one. And don't tell me what I'm the executive producer for this show. I'm going to fire myself on this one.
But yeah, West Valley, a lot of people I think overlooked them, but they're another team offensively. As I mentioned a couple weeks ago, they were only second to Centennial, according to Max Pep's reported statistics in yards per game. So you got 3 good teams, and when they all go against each other, we could have just high scoring affairs. Who can outscore? Who's going to make the fewest mistakes? That's going to be a great 3 great offensive battles in those games.
After tonight, that West Valley may be the top because they had like 600 yards of offense. It sounds like.
Yeah.
And now transition to what you want to tell them.
No, I don't. We can go back to it. I'm turning it off. Right, here we go.
And Lewis is gone, just like that. Banning over Notre Dame. Did you hear that score?
Yeah, I could tell by the little glee and Mr. Banning's voice.
It's a good night for King Lewis of Banning. So, and then real quick, your take also, we had Prep Dog in here talking about it because he was at this game, the Smudge Pot game, and Redlands taking Rev to the brink and just couldn't get it done in overtime.
Yeah, and I kind of expected that. I mean, Redlands every year brings, if they're going to play one game to the best of their ability, it's going to be against Rev. Those neighborhood rivalries, those city rivalries are huge. Good test for Rev. Are they getting too many of them? The big win over Mission Viejo, but we got to see where they go, step from there, 21 points, the most points they allowed this year. I haven't seen highlights. I don't know if it was Craig Lee who was big for Redlands.
He had an 88-yard run.
Yeah, are they going to have trouble with teams with speed? They can maybe, stick with those teams that are going to try to power it up or trying to play physical with them. But if you get some people with some speed, that could be, the Achilles heel for Rev right now.
What do you think just in general about contrasting styles, like a team like Centennial? Let's exclude the Hayden Gavin injury tonight, but a team like Centennial that can pile up the points, or a team like Rev that has an awesome defense. Which way do you usually lean? Just in general, do you like defense or do you like offense when you have 2 contrasting styles?
In high school football, I'll take an offensive team because, and especially when you look at Rev, while as good as their defense is, for a team to slow down Centennial, you're still probably saying you're going to hold them into the mid to upper 20s is slowing down Centennial. And as we've seen this year, Rev struggles to get to that many points offensively. Could they score that many points? Can Vista Murrieta score that many points against Centennial? You know, Centennial has many, even though they gave up 440 yards tonight, 18 points. They get forced for turnovers. They come up with big plays when they need to. So it's those in those styles. It's hard to say that if Centennial's offense is firing, that there are a few teams that can beat them. And I think the only teams that are going to be able to beat Centennial are ones that have 4 or 5 different options, because Centennial's defense can take one guy out of a game. But if you have 3 or 4 guys have to spread their defense around, you got a shot. And that's why I think, you know, some of those teams in the baseline league are the most dangerous for Centennial right now.
All right, so we do have highlights of the Centennial Norco game as well as the Smudge Pot game. When we come right back, we're going to have more highlights, more scores, and analysis. We've got at least 11, 12 minutes left here on HS Game Time Live. We'll be right back.
Nice. No.
Oops.
Yeah, sure.
Let's go. Moms everywhere are finding ways to keep kids active and healthy.
Works every time.
Get ideas, get involved, get going at letsmove.gov.
We cover the issues you care about. Here at the Press Enterprise and PE.com, local news matters whether you live along Route 66 or on Main Street. We provide regional analysis and in-depth investigation of issues like education, transportation, the environment, and much more. Important matters are covered here. That is how we keep you connected to your community. The Press Enterprise and PE.com. For home delivery, call 1-800-794-NEWS.
Do you enjoy watching HS Game Time Live on Friday nights? If you do, then you'll love HSGT's Roundup. Every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday night, myself and Chris Ercole will bring you all the high school sports action, from volleyball to boys water polo, even girls tennis. You name it, we'll have it every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday night at hsgametime.pe.com.
We're Mr. Murrieta Cheer, and you're watching HS Game Time Live.
Welcome to Paradise Chevrolet Cadillac, the #1 volume dealership in Riverside and San Diego counties. It's the Chevrolet season of doing. Get behind the wheel of a select new 2011 Chevy model and take advantage of 0% APR financing plus $1,000 in bonus cash. Go for the rugged 2011 Avalanche or Colorado, the rough and tumble Silverado, or even a Suburban, Tahoe, or Traverse model. Hurry into Paradise Chevrolet Cadillac today. We're conveniently located at 27360 Inez Road between Winchester and Rancho California Road in Temecula.
Hey everybody, it's Lewis Amistad back here in HS Game Time Live. Pep Fernandez is with us. But for those of you who care, the contest has been announced for the night. And our winner in week 7 overall, week 8 in the contest, is none other than the San Jacinto High School baseball coach, Rick Zepik, finishing 18-2 on the night. He beat Tim Daniel. Interesting enough, Tim Daniel, former golf coach at Paloma Valley, who is the brother of Darren Daniel, the principal at Vista Murrieta. He was 17-3, and he beat EPJ and me. So there you go. But it was the top 3 guys, all with Hemet roots. So there you go.
And where do I want?
You're not even on, so it's okay, Zink. It's all right. Pep, you got anything to say about that?
Apparently, I need to spend more time in hammocks. I'm in last place in the pick'em standing. So
where did I finish?
I
Again,
just
Lois?
feel redeemed after last week's allegedly 10
He
losses.
claims someone did some snafu, something. So where did I finish, Lewis? Now that you're done talking about yourself.
Well, let me look. Let me see. Let me go. Let me look for a minute, Zink. Hold on a second.
Take a look there.
So,
baby.
by the way, also EPJ, he was 17-3, and then Rudy Casados was 17-3. He's out of Nuevo.
Watch, I got like
Rudy's good.
How much you want to bet? I have 10 wrong. Want to bet? Lewis went and
sabotaged your picks.
Probably.
We're actually tied now, Dave. We're tied now for last.
So I had 4 losses instead of 2.
Let me see here.
So it was because I was 2 ahead of you.
You were 15-5.
So what it runs down to is I spend all morning helping Lewis fix a car that he broke, and then he comes back and just buries me.
The rude dog, I think he was Rudy Casadas, who finished 5th overall tonight.
He doesn't, and he doesn't even acknowledge. He just rolled right past what I just said. Did you see that?
Yeah.
He is
That's good stuff.
Tied with Dr. Pete at 156.
Let's get back to Lewis so he can finish what he's saying.
And the Commish, GB Fan, and Bob Nordbeck are at 154. And but Dr. Pete still in the hunt. I don't know where he was at tonight, but he was up there. All right, I'm sorry. We have more important.
Enough about Lewis. How about we go through some scores? What do you say, Pep?
I would love to.
See?
I would love to get some scores and highlights. And although we know that all these Hemet folks have great picks out there,
for some reason you're not as loud as everybody else.
I can be loud.
No, don't be loud.
I can jump up and down and scream like Captain Chaparral.
Who was that talked to you tonight and wanted you to have their picture on there? We're going to see that video?
Oh, the lady.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, oh my gosh, I hope I'm remembering his name right. Tim Deals. Does that name ring a bell? Tim Deals? Tim Deal?
No.
Like that? Valley View?
I think he was playing a game with you.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Hope not.
Tim Deals.
Tim Deal or something like that?
What
he said he was a former varsity football coach. He wanted to say hi.
Okay.
He likes HS Game Time Live.
That's awesome. Well, thanks, Tim, for watching, listening, and keeping Pep company on the sideline.
At least some of us like it.
He was a good dude. He was excited that we had a camera out at the
Hey,
game.
I got to tell you, the most offensive fans tonight, surprisingly, in the chat room, were Vista Murrieta fans tonight.
Really?
Yeah, they were just out of hand.
We talked with Dr. Pete, too.
No, he was cool, though.
And he called after, I think he called because we popped off in the show. Lewis and I were talking, and in conversation, I said some things, and what do you know? Dr. Pete calls.
You know what?
Fuel the fire.
He makes house calls, by the way.
Do you know why he called, though? You know why he called? Because I keep promising him to go. He'll go into the Monday night show that he talked about, and I not yet got him in there. It's only taken 8 weeks for us to get him on this show. So
I tried to corner him on how he makes his picks, and he wouldn't give in anything.
No inside knowledge of.
No, the interesting thing is I was watching The League. I don't know if you watch this show on FX.
I know which one you're talking about. Yeah.
But so in The League this week, the show was about one of them. His wife is also in The League. I forget the character's name.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
But he found some ESPN fantasy roto guy that was in a bar, and he got his card, and he was cheating on his wife because his wife is usually the person who's giving him advice about his team because he never wins, and she's come close to winning whatever. And so I kind of went across the same lines he did to try and get information out of the guy, and it worked as poorly for me as it did for him, which was humorous nonetheless.
Bet you the good doctor has all these sources, like we were talking about, trainers, maybe custodians, nurses in the ER, maybe players come in with injuries. He's got all the scouting reports,
Well, I accused him of being an odds maker and just hanging out, and his daughter goes to Vista Marietta, and he just hangs out in Vista Marietta for his daughter. Actually, he's in Vegas 5 days a week. He's not really a doctor. He's like Dr. Z with Sports Illustrated. Yeah, same kind of thing. At least that's my take.
It's just a handle.
All right.
We've not actually seen him.
Digress. Move on.
Wow.
All right, scores and highlights. We're going to start in the Big 8 with a bunch of Big 8 scores, and we're going to splice in some video and periodically throughout. So let's go. Let's start in the Big 8, guys. Start with some Big 8 scores, and we're going to start with the Corona and Santiago. I guess Chris Erickley, is he the slowest editor in the building? Is he still doing those?
Yeah.
Anyways, we're going to have those highlights on the website.
Defend him though, because he made him shoot 2 games tonight. And he's got a busted foot.
Okay.
And then he had to stand. And he stand on the sidelines at Centennial, which is basically like standing in line at Best Buy on the night after Thanksgiving or Thanksgiving night.
Black Friday.
Oh my gosh,
the
they got so
shopping.
many. They got so many people on the sidelines there. It's unbelievable.
They do. I think anyone and everyone who's ever played there is allowed to go on the sideline. But yeah, we will have video of this game. Chris is getting it right now. 34-3. Santiago is a winner. Also from the Big 8, Norco and Centennial. 45-18. Centennial gets it done despite losing Hayden Gavitt to an arm injury, maybe a broken arm, maybe a fractured arm. Yeah, so we'll have to see exactly what happens over the course of the next several days when Gavitt actually sees a doctor and not just our analysis from looking at the video.
Here come the highlights, Pep.
Centennial taking on Norco. Chris tells us it was 14-6 in the second quarter, and there he is, Hayden Gavitt, looking good at this point, continuing to grind with the ground game all the way down to the 4-yard line, and he gets in for the score, and then there he is, getting in for the score there. And then a couple plays later, it's in the second quarter now. Centennial's offense continuing to roll. Gavitt throwing the deep ball to Chase Cravache. A wall of fans jump in front of Chris. How dare they? But it's still a touchdown, 80 yards there. The Huskies would settle all the way down the 5-yard line and set up that field goal here from Rigo Luna. And that made it 24-6 Centennial at halftime. The struggles, though, continued in the second half for Colton Gerhardt and Norco. Gerhardt picked off by Isaac Kolunga. There, nice interception. Of course, all that means is it's time for another touchdown from Hayden Gavitt, wreaking havoc on the Norco defense before the injury. 31-6 Centennial leading. And then later in the third quarter, Chris collects stamps, baseball cards, but Mr. Kalunga collects the interceptions. And this one's his second interception of the game. Stamps, coins too, Chris? Maybe. And, of course, it would only be appropriate to finish things off with another Hayden Gavitt touchdown run. I heard you collect Pogs. But Gavitt would lead the game with the arm injury. They're checking him out there. This is no joking matter. He will go for x-rays. Centennial wins 45-18, so we'll see the status of Gavitt after the doctors check him out and see what's going on. Pogs? Really, Chris? Pogs?
I thought it was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. There you go. I'd rather collect interceptions, but that's just me. All right, so that was the Big 8. Do we have any more scores from the Big 8?
Here we go. 45. Click that one.
We're gonna go to North and Roosevelt. North playing at Roosevelt, and I know North won tonight. I wish I had the final score.
No, there's no video. There you go.
There it is, and we're gonna roll through these. North beating Roosevelt 49-35. King and Poly a 0-0 tie.
That's tomorrow, by the way.
Oh, it's tomorrow. It's a Saturday game?
Right.
At Ramona High School. So hope you're ready for that one. Okay, to the Southwestern League. The scores continue. Great Oak, Murrieta Valley. Murrieta Valley 6-1. They win 28-21 against Great Oak. Also from the Southwestern League, Chaparral coming out big time against Murrieta Mesa. 56-7. The Pumas are back. And also in the Southwestern League tonight, Vista Murrieta flexing their muscles. They're 6-0, 41-3 against Temecula Valley. Now to the Citrus Belt League. And let me guess, the game we're going to start with, oh yeah, of course, A.B. Miller and Eisenhower. The big game from the Citrus Belt League tonight. Okay, well, it's the smudge pot. We'll get to that in just a second. But we still like this one. Miller over Eisenhower. And then Yucaipa. They improved to 7-0. Maybe that Yucaipa Rev game might be a little interesting.
Oh, you missed a furious argument between Zink and myself over Yucaipa's merits. He thought they should be ranked more highly in the Inland Division, and then we basically brawled after that.
Because you don't think Yucaipa's opponents have been.
I was trying to quote the prep dog, and basically Zink refuted anything the prep dog said. So there we go.
That's impossible. 34-9. Yucaipa is a winner. And the smudge pot game in overtime. Redlands East Valley edging the Terriers 21-14. And we've got the proof right here. Early on, it's the Wildcats quarterback Austin DeCoux passing to Rev's Darius Harrison. Nice gain there inside the 10-yard line. A few plays later, they turn that into a touchdown. Taylor Thompson gets in for the Wildcats. That made it 7-zip Rev in the second quarter. Now later, it's Rev back to punt. The Wildcats punting to the Terriers' John Pinales on the other end of this punt. Fields the ball, breaks out of about 3 or 4 Wildcats, and he is gone. 68 yards on the punt return touchdown, and that would tie the game at 7 apiece. And look at all the fans there at Dodge Stadium on the campus of Redlands High School. Third quarter, Craig Lee for the Terriers in the backfield. You don't see him yet, but there he is. and he will break loose 88 yards on this touchdown run. And Redlands takes the lead on their crosstown rival 14-7, but we are far from done. Rev quarterback Deku ties the game in the third quarter when he calls his own number, ties it at 14, and it stays that way, and we move to overtime. In bonus coverage, Deku calls his own number once again, and he will fight his way inside the pylon, and that is it. Redlands East Valley holds on. They win 21-14 in overtime, so they are 6-0 on the season. Rev 4-0. Let's see. Redlands, they're 4-0 against Redlands since 08, so they have dominated the Terriers in recent years.
5-0, and it's 8-7 now in the series.
Oh, 8-7 because we're updating it with tonight.
You know what's interesting about that, Pep? It was that looking at that crowd at Dodge Field. You know, that really should be a neutral site game. I mean, come on.
At the U of R?
At the U of R. I mean, really.
Well, that begs the question, if Redlands East Valley was supposed to host this game, would they play it at the U of R or Citrus Valley, or where would they play it?
Yeah, they play at the U of R.
At the U of R?
Yeah.
All right, so once again, 21-14, Rev gets it done in overtime, but a scare for the second straight week. To the Inland Valley League. Arlington and Canyon Springs. Canyon Springs cannot catch a break. 34-zip Arlington in this one. Also in the Inland Valley League, La Sierra and Valley View. Homecoming for the Valley View Eagles, and they lose 35-21. And we have highlights from this game. So we told you, Chicago homecoming out there at Valley View. Different themes, Chicago, 80s, comic book characters, I think was one of them. So that was R.J. Smith doing a little moonwalk into the end zone for the touchdown. But Valley View's Abraham Nuno to Sterling Winston here to bounce back on the big gain for Valley View. That would set up Will Evans on the touchdown. That makes it 7-7 game, all knotted up. And then it's Matt Sandoval. We love the kickers here at HS Game Time Live. Matt Sandoval bangs it through. 10-7 Valley View on top. And then back the other way, La Sierra. Noel Quinones gets the call here, muscles his way through that defender, and it makes it 13-10 La Sierra after one. And there's the fan. She begged me to put her on the show. I said, of course we would. We aim to please. We love the fans. We also love the kickers, as I just said. Sandoval, another field goal. That ties the game at 13. Still in the second quarter, Quinones, the big fella, plows in 21-13. La Sierra leading at the half. To the third quarter now. It's Valley View's Michael Harrison. Check out this run. The dude will not take no for an answer. Breaks out of a couple tackles here, spins out, and he's going to take this one to the paint, and that makes it 19-21. So Valley View still trailing by 2. They go for the 2-point conversion. Nuno to Rashad Stevenson on the fade. Hauls it in. 21-21. We're all tied up again. Later in the third quarter, La Sierra with the ball. Jimmy Stepanek the catch, but Valley View's Donovan Brooks bringing it. Big hit there by Brooks. Now we move to the fourth quarter. Still tied at 21. Salazar to Quinones. And check him out. All alone in the end zone. Trots in for 6. 27-21. La Sierra back on top. And then later in the fourth quarter, this will do it. Salazar to Smith. Game over. La Sierra goes on to win 35-21, your final score. And La Sierra, 6-1 on the season. Their only loss to the Rancho Verde on the season.
Hey, who's your guest in there?
Mr. Will C. Holden.
What is he doing in there? Show me
He's just enjoying HS Game Time Live.
Is this one hot?
No, we're not hot.
No,
Headphones.
Headphones.
Move on. Next, here we go.
All right. Also in the Inland Valley League, Moreno Valley and Ramona. Moreno Valley, second win of the season,
That's
and
a
they
big
do it
one.
on the road, 21-17 against Ramona. And the Rancho Verde, a lot of anger in this score. 63, nada. The Mustangs just really taking their anger out on that victory. To the San Andreas League, San G, they do it again. They beat Arroyo Valley 28-6. So San G picks up the victory. Also from the San Andreas League, Rialto, they knock off Cajon. Maybe a shocker tonight. The Cowboys lose by 2, 27-25. So both teams are now 6-1, but Rialto, more importantly, 3-0 in the San Andreas League. Carter all over Pacific. They are 4-0 in the San Andreas League, 46-0 against Pacific.
Hey, everybody's played 4 games in there, so we'll have to get those scheduled. Those records right.
Rialto is 4-0 as
Yes,
well in the San
right,
Andreas?
Right.
Man, who's doing the scoreboards back there?
Zink is.
I find that hard to believe, but moving on. San Bernardino and Colton. And Colton coming up big. They get another victory, 56-7 your final score. And I believe that will do it from the San Andreas. Now to the Mountain Pass League. And Himmets, they almost knock off Citrus Hill. They lose 49-7. Citrus Hill 7-0, still undefeated on the year. San Jacinto and Beaumont. San Jacinto 38-13. San Jacinto's on a roll right now. We've got the highlights. They win 38-13 against Beaumont. Drew Rogers gets the handoff here for San Jacinto, number 44, looking like Mike Alstad, if I can use a turn back the clock reference. Chris Erickley does it all the time, so I guess they're fair game. That goes in for the touchdown. Then later, Beaumont punting to number 6, Eric Hill, wearing the pink socks. As I said earlier, look good, feel good.
It's clashing.
Play good. It's clashing, but it's a nice look for some reason.
You know.
Eric Hill takes this one back on the return for the touchdown for San Jacinto. Now they give it to the big fella. We just saw Drew Rogers. And how about Noah Widgeons on the handoff? Goes down the sideline and in for the score. And this is all in the first quarter. San Jacinto just keeping their foot on the gas. Still in the opening frame, the quarterback, Kevin Clark, scrambling around, nothing doing. So Clark says, I'm just going to tuck the ball and go for it. Down the sideline he goes, and Clark goes in for the touchdown. And San Jacinto is up 28-0 after the first quarter. Now to the second quarter. And more from Widgeons. This time they're going to the air. Widgeons can also catch the ball. So opposing defenses, you better stay on your toes with Widgeons. He'll run it right at you or over you, and he'll also catch it. How about that catch out of the backfield? But check out the nice tackle by Beaumont at the end of this play. That'll do it for our touchdowns in this one. So we'll just tell you our final score was 38-13 San Jacinto beating up on Beaumont.
Just for clarification for all of our fans from the greater San Jacinto Valley. There you go. Hey, and I always like it when Chris Erickley shows up because I know for one thing, the door will slam very gently.
It's his signature.
It is. It's almost like my kids, you know, like getting out of the car.
It's not like we're doing a live show.
I know. It's unbelievable.
I want to announce my entrance, right?
Obviously. Game of the night, everybody. Here it comes.
Santiago, are we going to get the Santiago Corona?
We're already long gone past there.
That's in the past.
We haven't even watched those highlights yet.
Are they done?
Yes.
Oh, they are done.
Well, that was in the past. We're now moving forward. Into
All right.
the future.
Also in the Mountain Pass League, West Valley and Tahquitz. West Valley, their offense rolling at this point, 61-34 against Tahquitz, 532 yards.
No, by the way, Pep, that's interesting because that was like, I don't know, with 9 minutes left to go in the game. I have no idea what the final numbers were. It was crazy.
Oh, so they could have reached 600.
Does Will Holden know?
What are we asking?
How many? Do you even have headphones on?
Well, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar over here has his very womanly-like sandals on the table.
Yeah, 'cause sandals.
Yeah, his mom probably
show the shot. It's on camera 3, right?
Yeah, I probably could show Will
Oh, my.
slacking.
Look at this.
We're getting ready.
Look at the disrespect of this show.
We're getting in the right state of mind here.
Look at this. This is shocking.
I like those shoes. I'd actually buy those if they made them.
I've
for
never
men.
seen a level of disrespect.
I'm just kidding.
Come on.
How many
I
yards?
was about to
did
display the
West
paint on the
Valley
bottom
have
of them,
tonight?
but you're not allowed to see them now.
That is.
Nobody knows.
What
They
was
are
that?
cool.
Hey, come on, let's see these Santiago Corona.
Okay, back to the scoreboard.
All
Pep's
right.
show has been hijacked.
532 yards of total offense with 9 minutes left in the game. So who knows? West Valley could have reached 1,000 for all we know. Sutton Belt League, and we do have some highlights from
I
the
actually
Sun
do
Belt
have
League.
that information. We'll get it out on late night.
On a late night. Okay. Heritage and Paloma Valley. Heritage doubles up Paloma Valley 28-14. And we have highlights in this one. We're going to pick things up with one of the Hefo brothers. We talk about Tony Hefo a lot. This is Lima High Hefo. He's going to go in from 14 yards out. And then later, the Wildcats drive the length of the field, but they are stuffed at the 1 by the Patriots defense on the very next play with 99 yards in front of them. It's Jamal Morrow turning the corner, and he will go all the way, and he gives Heritage a 14-zip lead.
Longest run in school history's got to be, right?
What's that?
Unless it
No.
was 100.
Oh,
Or I guess it could be longer, right? If you go from the end zone. But we'll call it. Heritage hasn't been around that long, so 99 is probably the case. Paloma
Give it
Valley
to
gets
him.
on the scoreboard here. First play, final play of the first half. Brett Beaumont with Anthony Johnston, 25 yards there. Then it's Jamal Morrow again, not 99 yards, but this one 45 yards all the way down to the pylon. The Patriots' final score came on this 16-yard pass from Chad Virgil to Darius Allensworth, going Megatron on that one. Heritage, they claim the Menifee Bowl, they call it. 28-14 over Paloma Valley. All right, also from the Sun Belt League tonight, Paris over Lakeside, 36-10 your final score. Paris had 4 straight losses, but they snapped that losing streak.
That's wrong.
I was going to say,
No?
I was pretty sure
Yeah.
that Paris lost to
Paris.
Lakeside tonight.
Yeah.
36-10.
I saw Paris last week, and there's no way they scored 36 points.
So Lakeside won 36-10.
You're going to hate on Paris like that.
Let me fix that.
You know,
Go back to those guys. Talk for a
I
minute.
saw them. They were playing Paloma.
Then go back to that onside kick.
Well, they're a little bit beat up though, aren't they, Chris? Weren't they? Didn't they have a bunch of injuries in that game?
Yeah, they did lose their QB against Paloma, but they were getting shut out at the time. But I don't know. I can't think clearly right now because the aroma coming from this fungal feet infection that I had.
He didn't like the shoes, so I decided to just take them off.
Pep feels a little lightheaded from that.
There you go. There's the right score now, you guys. All right, Sunkiss League.
Oh, there we go.
36.
Oh, I'm sorry. Here we go. Here's one.
Ooh, that one hurts.
Elsinore,
Cuts to the heart.
10 zip over Temescal.
You know, I failed to get the highlight or to get the excerpts from Young Holden's predictions here.
We can forget about those. I mean,
Yes.
that's ancient history.
But
now.
you know what's interesting about this is that you were sort of correct in that it was a tight game.
Ancient. That's
Yeah.
right. Ancient.
What EPJ is going to say is he told me that Elsinore was going to double up Temescal Canyon, and actually they did that 10 times over. So that was a little bit unfortunate.
All right, we're going to the highlights, Pep.
Oh, we do have highlights on this show. Here we go. Temescal Canyon and Elsinore. I was over here taking a nap. It's already past my bedtime. Elsinore attempts to make a touchdown, but Angel tells me it was close, but it did not get in. This play here by Alan Stubbs. This one is a touchdown. It's not only close, but this one goes all the way. He wrote all the way to a touchdown.
What was that, ready-made
Goes
shot
in for the
sheet?
score. Yeah, Angel does a great job. He gets the shot sheet to me early, and we appreciate that. That kid gave Elsinore the 7-zip lead at halftime. And he's a whiz with the graphics. You even changed the 7 on there so we could see it clearly. Thanks, Angel. Try as they might, Temescal Canyon completes the long pass here.
Picasso.
Only to turn it over to Elsinore. So bit of a struggle here for momentum. Elsinore would recover the ball, and that would set up field position for Elsinore for a field goal. Knocks it through, and that's it.
That's a large kicker.
And 10.
It takes
That's
all
a
kinds,
perfect
Zink.
10.
10 zip, your final score. That's it. Touchdown, field goal, 10. Now that
What was
Elsinore
there
wins.
originally that we had to blot out?
You just want to make sure we could see it, right?
I think it was a really bad scoreboard that you couldn't tell from the modeled
Maybe
lights.
some like light bulbs were out. or something.
Elsinore's sort of in a long stage improvement plan with their facilities.
They haven't updated that football field in probably 45 years.
I'm pretty sure there was a hole in the press box floor when I was there last.
We
year.
Scoreboard displeased Angel Ortiz.
We will ask Nolan Peralta that if he's
Yeah,
still
he's- yeah,
awake by
he's
the
gonna
time
be-
that we
right.
get to him.
Right? Yeah, we're
Can you
getting
turn off the microphones of those two and not show them ever again? Move on.
To the Sunkist League, Norda Vista. Chris Hercules, Norda Vista. Right when you jump off the bandwagon, Chris,
No,
they
I
win.
picked Pepperoni. I
coincidence?
picked him this week. So
Oh, you did?
Yeah,
You're back on?
42-35. I had them pulling out the W. Luckily, they won. And Banning won. 2 rare occurrences.
You did not pick Banning.
No,
Don't
I did
even-
not. Did
Another
not.
sign of the apocalypse.
Only 9 people picked Banning. I was one of them.
How's your ankle feeling jumping back on that bandwagon?
Of Norda Vista?
Yes.
Well,
Guys
hey,
in Herb Valley.
at least
It's like you never left.
I'm open and I admit that
How many
I
times are
jumped
you going
out.
to stutter before you figure?
I admit that I jumped back on the bandwagon, unlike Dave Zink, who will jump off the Notre Dame bandwagon with ease.
By the way,
of
I've taken a lot of grief for being on the bandwagon. I don't know what game you're talking about.
You are very embarrassed about your Notre Dame allegiance.
We'll get to that on late night.
Okay.
No comment on.
And by the way, by the way. Take your feet off the table, please.
Lewis is much
He is
more.
technically my boss, I suppose.
Lewis is much more prideful about his banning pride than
He wears it
than
on his
you are
sleeve.
about your Notre Dame pride.
Oh, there we go. Look at that.
No comment.
Can we move on to highlights, please?
I'm not sure where the show's going at this point.
I've been begging for the Santiago Corona highlights.
Santiago.
They
Now,
don't wanna
we're in
be
the
shown.
Sunkiss League right now. We do have highlights from this game. 13-6. Kaiser gets it done. Harupa Valley, their first loss of the season. So let's go out there to Harupa Valley. The Cats paying a visit out there. Kaiser, a decade of dominance, as I like to say, in the Sunkiss League. They've racked up a lot of league titles there. Early in this one, that Kaiser defense stepping up big time. Number 23, still working on a name for him, but he does have the interception. Then later, here's the first touchdown of the game. Harupa Valley's quarterback, Martin Ricardo, to Daniel Cervantes. That was in the second quarter. That made it 6-zip Harupa Valley. Now to the third quarter, QB Ryan Moda, broken play here. The quarterback takes off on the run, cuts back inside, breaks through the traffic, and he finds the touchdown. 7-6. Kaiser on top. Now to the fourth quarter, just about 2 minutes left in the game. Kaiser finally puts it away. Talib Isom, 33 yards on the touchdown run, and Kaiser beats Harupa Valley 13-6, your final score. So Kaiser gets the win, but still a nice showing from Harupa Valley. They're still enjoying a pretty good season at 5-1-1. Summit and Patriot, the Skyhawks soaring 51-zip. They're 6-1 on the season.
Summit
Number
is
one in
bad.
the Eastern Division.
Summit
Summit's a good
very
team.
bad.
That Summit Kaiser matchup's gonna be fun to watch. Now to the Mountain Valley League. Citrus Valley of Redlands going to Rim of the World in Arrowhead, and the Blackhawks win 33-26. So Citrus Valley flying under the radar with a 6-1 record. Their only loss to Murrieta Mesa on the season. Also in the Mountain Valley League, there it is. Another sign of the end of the world. Banning has beaten Notre Dame 14-6. The Fighting Zinks
Was there a
coming
sandwich
up
on
8
the line?
shorts.
I'm sorry.
Was there a sandwich on the line?
No.
Did Lewis ever
No.
pay you for last week's
No.
bet? So
No. And it is all about him anyways. Oh, you know what? Technically,
Integrity
he paid
is
me
not high.
He bought my lunch for helping him with the battery today. So
Yes,
that was.
I did buy him lunch today.
And his
But that was for another favor that he did.
He
for
did
you.
he did buy me some mini cookies today at Jack in
See,
the Box.
it's just I don't know. It's late, man. Can we just move on?
Can we just go? Rubidoux and Harupa Hills. Rubidoux wins 41-21. Hey, Rubidoux 5-2. Check it out. Also from the Ambassador League. Moving on to the
Matheny.
Ambassador League.
So all the
Ouch.
Catholic high schools lose
Mr.
today.
Matheny.
Do we know if Xavier Prep lost too? Then we could just make it the trifecta.
I would call my insider, but he is out of the area. He's in Orange
He's
County.
in bed.
But he's in Orange County.
My insider has a 10 o'clock curfew.
Yeah, probably.
Also from the Ambassador, Linfield Christian blanks Arrowhead Christian 24-zip. Arrowhead Christian ACA 0-6 on the season. Western Christian in a defensive battle there with Calvary Murrieta 13-7. Western Christian is your winner. From the Arrowhead League, Riverside Christian against Sherman Indian 47-zip. Your final score. Riverside Christian gets the W.
That's it.
And that's it. Thanks to Paradise Chevrolet Cadillac for hooking us up and joining the team and doing the scoreboards for us. So we are going to go to HS Game Time Late Night with our good friends Will C. Holden and Chris Erickley. I'm not sure what's up their sleeve, but it's usually pretty good.
Oh, it's going to be good.
Clean
We
it
got
up a little
Mr. Nolan Peralta, as we mentioned on the horn. Tonight he will be breaking down their big win against Temescal, that
10-0.
Yeah, big one.
offensive juggernaut.
Yeah.
And of course, Will's favorite "What's Hot on the Web" segment. We will be discussing 40 times.
Yeah.
Some of the great 40 times out of the Inland
The,
Empire. Lewis and
misleading
Zink
40
are
times.
not. Although I think Lewis claimed to have a 4-4.
He did. He made some ridiculous statement last week about his 40 times.
Yeah.
Was that before or
I
after
think that's
the
his
Jack
and,
in the Box
that's
mini
his and
cookies?
Zink's 40.
Yeah.
I think that's his
Mini
and Zink's
cookies
40
added
time
about
over to the
0.2.
Wednesday fish tacos, but not their 40 time on the football field.
Let's do it.
Anyway, yeah.
That was 20 years ago, and I can still whip you now.
Dude, I really? Is that all you got? I mean, like, these jokes are really getting bad.
They're not going to get any better.
We got
eating
Pep
some-
talking about pogs. We've got you making references to guys who played football before you were born. I mean, what are we going to get next?
There's been some guys eating some bitters out there.
What's
I
wrong
can
with the
tell.
Pogs joke?
Murphy could beat both of you with
No,
sandals.
that was the best part of your childhood. I understand that, but
I had
it's
a
still an
blueberry
old
scented
reference.
slammer.
Take a break and go to the. Let's take a break and go to the pictures from our photographers. We'll be back with a minute on HS Game Time late night. We'll see you guys here in a few minutes. And now, here he is, Chris Erickley and Will C. Holden for HS Game Time Live Late Night.
It is a pleasure to be back here. Another thrilling week here for HS Game Time Late Night. I am Chris Erickley, and of course, Mr. Billy the Kid Will C. Holden over here to my left. Luckily, he put his shoes back on for everyone here in the building.
Or did I?
Well, we don't want to know. Anyways, what we do want to know is what was going on out at the Corona Santiago game tonight. It was a clash between two teams that definitely needed a big win for the Big Eight.
And one of them definitely didn't get it.
Yeah, one of them definitely didn't get it. It would be homecoming tonight, a big moment. And Michael Dar, the QB of Santiago, would be running home Forrest Gump style, taking off down the left sideline. He would pick up about 40 yards on this one, shaking and baking all the way down to the 30. Next play, one of my good friends, Mr. Roosevelt, don't call me Art Monk, going to the end zone for the touchdown. 8-0 would be the score. Then it's a good friend of Will's, Mr. Truelove.
That's true.
Getting assaulted by the Shark defense. From there, it would be more from Mr. Monk, taking it to the house for another time. Maybe the NFL Hall of Fame is in his future, just like old Art.
I think he had his own show on
Check
PBS
out this
for a while.
trickeration. Dar over to Nick, the big man Little. Back over to Dar, little trickeration. And that is a touchdown. That would be 20-0 halftime, and 34-3 would be the final on that Santiago game, a win over Corona. They bounced back from losing to Centennial last week in big fashion. Definitely a win that they needed if they were going to go for second place out there in the Big Eight. A crucial win, Will. Comments?
I think Santiago's finally found a rushing game, which is big because they didn't have one before and was really kind of hurting Michael Dar and kind of causing him to put the team on his back. But you mentioned your favorite player, Roosevelt Monk. I believe he had 96 yards on just 10 carries, 3 touchdowns as well. That eases the burden on a budding star out there in Michael Dar.
Not bad at all. 9.6 yards a carry. I'm not a mathematician, but I believe that's right. And
it was a good guess.
Yes. Pretty good. Anyways, another big game that was pretty good for at least one team was the Corona Centennial game, a game that was a national coverage. And Hayden Gavitt would grind all the way down to the 4-yard line. A few plays later, Gavitt fakes the handoff to Goodman and dives into the end zone for the score. Centennial leading 21-6. Later in the second quarter, Centennial rolling on offense, and it's Gavitt throwing to Chase Cravache. A wall of fans blocking me like an offensive line from that play. He gets all the way down to the 5-yard line.
The field?
And yes, and a field goal from Rigo Luna. 24-6, the Husky halftime lead. Struggles would continue for Colton Gerhardt and Norco in the second half. Here, Gerhardt picked off by Isaac Kalunga.
A lot of black shirts over there.
DB. And then, of course, that means time for another TD run from Hayden Gavitt, wrecking the Norco defense. 31-6 would be the score. Then later in the third quarter, some collect stamps, others baseball cards. Will Pogs, Mr. Kalunga, he collects footballs via the interception. This one, his second of the game, I believe his 5th of the year. And, of course, only appropriate to finish that off with another Gavitt rushing TD. Although he would injure his left forearm on the previous play, have to leave the game. He would be going for x-rays, could be there right now as we speak. Norco, though, does win 45-18. A nice win for them over a quality team. But it will be waiting for those x-rays on left forearm gate, maybe we can call it. Because if Gavitt goes down, it's mucho problemo out there in Corona.
Right, and I don't know, for our two producers, I know they are familiar with Centennial as backup quarterback. We saw him in the spring game. Can any of you jump on there? I'm blanking on his name at the moment. But he's obviously a different Robert Weber. I'm hearing now. He's a little bit of a different quarterback than Hayden Gavitt. Is more of a pocket passer, and he's going to struggle in that role that Hayden had, which was kind of that zone read quarterback that could run the football, kind of challenge defenses that way. Work for Matt Logan cut out. Considering the fact he's going to have to restructure his offense a little bit, so maybe Romello Goodman has to take a little bit more of the load. This is a big loss, and it's going to be interesting to see how they bounce back from it, how they handle it.
Will, would you see him playing maybe with a soft cast on that left arm later on in the season? But I mean, the way that he runs, it's bound to have some problems, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where it's I believe as Dave Zink so aptly put it, are you injured or are you hurt? I believe that was one of his old coaches' sayings over there at Notre Dame, which we will get to later. But a broken left arm, I mean, that's an injury. I mean, you're not playing with a soft cast from that. That's one of those things that's going to knock you out. And it's just a matter of the X-rays now to figure out just what that problem is. But like you said, if diagnosis is broken, that's a season ender.
I'm not a doctor, but like I said before, I have stayed at a Holiday Inn, and I believe a fracture is usually 6 to 8 weeks, which would not be good.
And like we said, Romello Goodman could certainly be a guy that carries a little bit of that load, but was a guy that got bottled up pretty well by Norco tonight. If it weren't for 2 long runs, he doesn't get to his 138 yards and 17 carries. Looks a lot more modest. So we'll have to see, especially as you start getting to state bowl time and some defenses that can really stop the run, just what Centennial is going to do without their stud under center.
We will have to see. We will be scanning every emergency room in the greater Corona area for those X-ray
Berkeley's got
results.
nothing else to do tonight, so
as soon as we can get those, just get to sign the HIPAA release form on those. And anyways, moving on to a game that was very special for Pep tonight, and he was heartbroken when he found out that Lewis did not want him to go to the game. It was a smudge pot game.
Looks like a smudge pot
and
video,
Austin
too.
Decoux, yes, throwing to Rev's Darius Pearson. That would put them in prime time position. A few plays later, they turn that into a TD thanks to Mr. Taylor Thompson, and that would be Rev up 7-0 in the second quarter. Now, Rev back to punt. It's Redlands' John Pinales getting ready for the return. Here's the old punt. Nice hang time on that baby. And it's John Pinales taking the ball from the 32-yard line, his own 32, breaking free and running Louis Amistoy style via, 1972 maybe, to tie the game up at 7-7 all.
Got to get a note to spectators in the Inland Valley area.
Now in the third quarter, Redlands, Craig Lee makes an 88-yard TD. He's off to the races. Look at that, just like Lewis back in 72 out there in Banning Broncos when they used to run in the fields out there near the pass. 14-7 Redlands. Would it be an upset?
Heads.
No. Decoux ties the game in the third quarter, 14-14. Now in overtime, could it be Shock City? No. Why? Because Rev's Decoux goes in once again for a game-winning touchdown in overtime, 21-14. Rev just escapes another after that big win against Mission Viejo, where everyone was kissing babies and running for president. A couple,
not sure if that's what they're doing.
A
but
couple
I like
close
the idea.
games for them, but they have pulled out the W. But it has been a nail biter both the last 2 weeks.
Sure, I mean they've been in 4 games this year that have all been decided in the fourth quarter. And they've come up on the right side of those games. And so it's either one of those teams where they have that capability to win close games, and that's something you like about them moving forward, or you're saying they're playing with fire a few too many times and wondering if they're going to be able to continue to do that. But, their offense continues to struggle. Is the biggest thing for me. But tonight, a little bit nicer sign for Rev. Running backs Darius Harrison, Taylor Thompson, both surpassed the 100-yard mark. It's kind of a positive side because they're not passing the football very well. And, Redlands is certainly a team with a lot of speed, but you got to worry a little bit about if you're struggling against a team like Redlands. I know that Mission Viejo win, that was big, but you got to come out every night. And right now, Rev is playing down to the levels of a few of their opponents, and that's got to be a little bit troubling.
Well, here's the million-dollar question for you. The way Rev has struggled the last 2 weeks, combined with the Hayden Gavitt possible fractured left forearm, does that mean that clears the way for Vista to be the continue their domination as top dog here in the Inland Empire?
It sounds like Vista Muretta's fans feel that way. I hear they got a little bit out of hand on the message boards tonight, but I don't know. I think there are flaws in all those teams. For me, Vista Murrieta, you could probably say almost the same thing that you could about Rev, although Vista's offense got a little bit of a jump start tonight from Aaron Paconis. They're having their struggles on offense. And so, I don't know. There's a lot of Achilles heels right now in the inland area, and it's going to take some time to sort those out, I think.
But you don't call me a Centennial honk, because I'm not, but I have a feeling there's plenty of talent on the both JV and varsity roster. They could probably figure out a way to hold down the quarterback position. Hopefully that Gavitt can get back. If he can't get back, I mean, it could get to be a problem in the playoffs, but I think they can make it through the regular season, filling holes as they go.
The rest of the Big 8 schedule, I don't think there's
not much of a challenge. I think they have Roosevelt, they have King.
And they have Corona.
Yeah, none of which should pose a threat for them too much. Although
But
you
let's
say
be-
you're
you
not
know-
a Centennial honk, Mr. Zink, but I believe Coach Logan was wondering where his pregame back rub was when I arrived to the
right.
game.
Well, I had to be here with Lewis.
He was giving
I'm
Lewis
not
his
proud to
pregame
say
back.
that. I apologize.
He had to sit here and kind of demean the fine effort by Harupa Valley tonight.
I didn't demean anything.
Somebody's got.
We would like to talk about that game, as a matter of fact, Kaiser and Harupa Valley, game that
our next
we
one.
do have highlights for. And the first play would be a Kaiser interception by number 23, a guy that we're just going to call John Doe because we don't know his name. Pep told me it's just number 23. It could have been Michael Jordan for all we
I
know.
could have looked that up
Then
if someone would have told me.
The first touchdown, Martin Ricardo to Daniel Cervantes in the second quarter. That would get things going on the scoreboard. Then Ryan Moda with the 4-yard TD run. That makes it 7-6.
30
As
yards to go
he
for.
runs right in there. Oh, and then 33 yards from Talib Assam. As we see it right here, off to the races. That would seal the deal for Kaiser. 13-6 the final score. Not a high-scoring affair, but Kaiser continuing to roll. They are now, they got to be 3-0 in the league now, I would imagine.
I would not imagine. I think that's correct.
No, 2-0?
They're 2-0.
Only 2-0. Okay. Just wanted to make sure
Five-team league.
that it was updated. And
Right.
I put my trust in you. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
And, so a big win for Kaiser tonight. Not quite as dominating as Centennial and some of the other top 10 teams around here, but no one to slouch at. And Harupa Valley, they've had their struggles this year, Dave Zink. I don't understand why you didn't give them more credit for keeping that game so close.
It's Kaiser.
Yeah.
They've owned that league for a decade.
Yeah, but
hold on. Kaiser wins games by playing defense and ball possession, just like Elsinore did. You particularly, Will, were wrong with the Elsinore one, and it's the same game plan. They worked it to execution, and they beat Harupa Valley by slowing Harupa Valley down, just like Elsinore won their game by slowing down Temescal Canyon.
This is fair, but who was the only team to have beaten Kaiser in the last 10 years in that league?
One time.
it's happened.
Let me just say one
again.
time. How many games do you play in 10 years of league?
I'm not a
30,
mathematician.
40,
I would
50
default
games?
to the resident
if
mathematician
you have
in here.
5 league games, is that right?
30, 40, 50 games, let's say, and one time they were beaten. So if you're hanging your hat on one win in 50 games, okay, I'll give you that.
Well, okay, so for Harupa Valley, I was a little disappointed in Martin Mercado, a guy that's been so efficient this year. I mean, he's had 10 touchdowns, 3 picks. He's also thrown over 1,000 yards, completed 55% of his passes, and was good in the first half for Harupa Valley. I mean, he was, I think, 13 of 17 for 112 yards, but that second half was rough on him. He was just 5 of 10 for 27 yards and an interception. That's got to be that Kaiser heritage, perhaps, stepping up in that second half, as Dave Zink might put it. But, I mean, just kind of an ugly game overall, and it's unfortunate that, Harupa Valley...
That's how Kaiser likes it.
Harupa Valley's
scoring
nice,
ugly game. Put
nice little
somebody to
undefeated
sleep.
season was mucked up by a team that would want to play like that. I'm disappointed.
Kaiser is very good at a sleeper hold. That's all I got to say.
Well, when they run into Summit, what's going to happen then?
They beat Summit last year.
What about this year?
I don't know. We'll have to wait and see now, won't we? You bet for Summit. I'll bet for Kaiser. We'll bet a sandwich on it. What do you say?
That is
put it
the
on right now.
We don't use dollars over here. We use sandwiches in our currency.
It's the only thing I know.
We would name our place of choice, but they haven't endorsed us yet on
No,
this
not
show,
quite yet.
so we're not going to throw the name out there quite yet. But we should look into that.
Has Holden been there?
Of course, I have. I introduced him
yeah.
to the
location,
to the spot, I believe.
No.
What spot would that be? You don't have to.
Are you talking about the one over by UCR or the one over this way?
The one over this way.
I showed you that place.
I think he has a little bit of a foggy memory,
Uh-oh.
folks. But
We're having an
I
argument
went
over
there-
sandwiches.
I think I ate there with Zink and Lewis before you even worked
You
here.
know, I'm not hungry right now, but I am hungry for some
We
Temescal
are-
Canyon, Elsinore.
We are
and a little
hungry.
bit of,
Yeah.
Take him to the woodshed.
We are
Yeah.
ready to talk about, Nolan Peralta,
Yeah.
and we will talk about him with him on the phone. But of course, are we going to take a little break so that we can get him on the horn?
That would
We
be
are
great.
going to take a little
Yeah,
break,
take a
so
break.
that we can get him on the horn because we just hope that Lewis got the Skype account back up and rocking and rolling, and that is a confirmation. Apparently,
not going to have to use my cell phone tonight. It's
Zink's
gonna be
American
great.
Express Black Card. We put an extra 100,000 on the Skype account.
Correction, that was blue.
Oh, blue card. All right. Anywho, we're going to take a quick break. You don't go anywhere. We're going to have Nolan Peralta discussing Elsinore. They are the defending CIF champs, and they are looking good still this season as well. Maybe a back-to-back CIF small dynasty beginning to erupt out there in Elsinore. We will have all the answers from him when we come back. Don't go anywhere. You are watching HS Game Time Late Night.
We're Polly Cheer, and you're watching HS Game Time Live.
Nice. No. Oops. Yeah, sure. Let's go. Moms everywhere are finding ways to keep kids active and healthy. Works every time. Get ideas, get involved, get going at letsmove.gov.
We cover the issues you care about. Here at the Press Enterprise and PE.com, local news matters whether you live along Route 66 or on Main Street. We provide regional analysis and in-depth investigation of issues like education, transportation, the environment, and much more. Important matters are covered here. That is how we keep you connected to your community. The Press Enterprise and PE.com. For home delivery, call 1-800-794-NEWS.
Do you enjoy watching HS Game Time live on Friday nights? If you do, then you'll love HSGT's Roundup. Every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday night, myself and Chris Ercole will bring you all the high school sports action from volleyball to boys water polo, even girls tennis. You name it, we'll have it every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday night at hsgametime.pe.com.
We're Mr. Marietta Cheer, and you're watching HS Game Time Live.
Welcome to Paradise Chevrolet Cadillac, the #1 volume dealership in Riverside and San Diego counties. It's the Chevrolet season of doing. Get behind the wheel of a select new 2011 Chevy model and take advantage of 0% APR financing plus $1,000 in bonus cash. Go for the rugged 2011 Avalanche or Colorado, the rough and tumble Silverado, or even a Suburban, Tahoe, or Traverse model. Hurry into Paradise Chevrolet Cadillac today. We're conveniently located at 27360 Inez Road between Winchester and Rancho California Road in Temecula.
Hey everybody, welcome back to HS Game Time Late Night. Chris Ercole alongside me, Will C. Holden. We thought, keyword we thought, we had Nathan Peralta on the show. We told him about 12:15, 12:20. It's 12:45 now. I guess past his bedtime. He is a youngster. I don't know. Is he 18 yet?
He had his chance to tell me just how foolish I was for picking Temescal Canyon over the Tigers tonight, but I guess we'll just have to save that for
Maybe
later.
next.
Well, here, let me jump in for him.
Okay.
He maybe he's hanging out with Coach Matheny of Aquinas
Yeah,
in the
I think so.
phone calls that could have been area.
It's so good to be young and impassioned.
Yes.
It's not bad.
Thank you, Lewis. for that. Yes.
Do we have highlights of that? Could we go to possible highlights of that real quick? I'd just like to see the scoreboard again with
Elsinore.
You mean highlights of him not answering the phone, or highlights of the game he played in?
highlights of the game that I incorrectly predicted and Nolan Peralta played in.
Hold on a second. I got it right here.
Yeah, we have that.
We'll chat just a second. I mean, I mostly just want to get to Angel Hernandez's handiwork.
Here we go. Elsinore attempts to make a touchdown close to end the second quarter, but that would not work out. But this play here, Alan Stubbs, as he says, all the way, he could go all the way for the touchdown. That's here dictated by Mr. Angel Ortiz. That would give Elsinore the 7-0 lead before halftime. Then Temescal Canyon. There we go, 7-0, just so the people will know exactly what is going on. Then Temescal Canyon goes for the deep pass, only to turn it over to Elsinore. That would not be the preferred scenario right there. Old Petey Piccolo with the interception. Elsinore recovers the ball. This sets up good field position for Elsinore, kicking the field goal Janikowski style, just not with the left foot. 10-0. The price is right. It's a perfect 10. And 10-0 would be the final score as Elsinore defeats Temescal 10-0. There it is one more time. But that one was not done by Angel. But makes it clear.
So I had kind of made a big show of trying to pick Temescal on that one, and for it was a close game. I mean, I'm not gonna say as though it was a completely blatant mispick, but I mean, I guess I should give Elsinore a little bit of credit. Alan Stubbs is a guy that reeled off some nice runs there late in the game. 163 yards, 23 carries is what he finishes with. And man, I mean, I was confident in Temescal after what I saw against Heritage. They lost 34-30 in that one. It had more of a drought against Elsinore. I guess, guys like Dawson Lindemann, I don't think he even had more than 50 yards. He's been tearing it up this season. Terry Jones was the guy that led with 62 yards.
Were you thinking that Heritage is a better team than Elsinore? Is that what you were trying to say?
I don't think there's any question.
What do you think about that, Dave Zink?
I just wanted to see Dave's reaction there in the corner.
Excuse me. Based on what he just said, I'm going to have to say we need to get him a psych analysis.
I mean,
Heritage is a good team, but
who won that league last year?
Reigning division champ.
I mean, Rancho Verde put the beat down on Heritage. So I mean, how much?
Rancho Verde puts the beat down on everybody until they get to the playoffs.
Right. They didn't put the beat down.
They won by at least 20-something.
They won by like 14 points.
Are you sure? We'd have to refer. We'd have to look back in the history book on that.
I know. Bicker about it some more. This is so interesting.
We're going to move on. And
I agree.
It's time for the What's Hot on the Web segment hosted by www Worldwide Willie's Web. That's Willie the Kid Holden. And today, the first hot topic we were discussing is 40 times. A lot of discussion about this. Of course, it has a huge impact in the combine for the NFL and also for kids that are getting recruited at the college level.
Get down there to some of those times. Yeah, there we go.
Some of the times that caught our eye.
Well, the thing that I wanted to talk about is I just find, and it's too bad that we have to mention this on a week where he might be having his season cut a little bit short. But Hayden Gavitt, I keep hearing runs a 4.40, and that to me just blows my mind when people say stuff like that because I don't think they realize just how fast 4.4 speed is. And so since we have someone who runs a bit of a workout facility on staff here in the illustrious Dave Zink, I thought we could kind of maybe bring him into this conversation a little bit. But first lay a little bit of knowledge on the people. So, Chris Erkley, you are a astute athletic observer. I mean, it's what you're paid to do. How many, as we're looking over this right now, this is the Spark Combine. It's become sort of a popular deal where they measure 40 times, measure a bunch of stuff, vertical leaps, all that sort of stuff, broad jump. And basically, 1,000 different high school athletes were surveyed. Mr. Erkley, of those 1,000 that recorded 40 times at the Nike Spark Combine in Long Beach this year, how many of them do you think ran sub 4.5 40-yard dash times?
Out of 1,000?
Out of 1,000.
Well, what positions are these players?
Every position does, there's of all positions.
Pick a number.
80.
You think about 80 of them ran sub 4.540. So what about you, Mr. Zink, now that you're you being the expert on this topic?
I'm going to say between 25 and 30.
And Lewis, I mean, you were a track star, maybe even still.
He's a track star.
You never stopped being a track star, I suppose.
Well, I'm actually looking through the list right now as
It's
it's
like
scrolling
being a
through
rock
it.
star.
And I'd say less than 20.
Less than 20. Well, Lewis is correct. Only 6 out of 1,000 ran sub 4.540s. And this is my point, ladies and gents. That's really fast, man. That's really freaking fast if you run a sub 4.5. And so, I mean, let's talk about some of the kids from our area that are good players. Okay, so Samson Kafavalu, a guy that's got 8 scholarship offers. He's a defensive end. Offers to Boise State, UCLA, CU, Arizona, UW, you name it. This guy's got it as far as the Pac-12 is concerned. What do you think a defensive end, high school defensive end, runs as far as a 40 time? I don't think Dave Zink can respond to this one because that's... I
already know.
Because he already knows. But, Mr. Erkley, what would you say?
4.8.
And Lewis?
4.7.
5.7.
Wow.
Jeepers.
5.7. Division I athlete running a 5.740. And you could go on. Nolan Peralta, who we were going to have on here tonight, runs a 5.2. He's a Division I caliber player. But the ones that are especially interesting, I thought, were a couple of Summit kids. I mean, kids that are burners. Dante Dion, a guy that's got famously had 10 interceptions, starting to get his interception total up this year. He's a Boise State commit. He's a cornerback. He's a running back type. What would you think? I mean, this kid can fly.
4.6.
4.9.
4.9. Zink?
I'll stick around the 4.6 range, 4.5, 4.6.
Dante Dion, 4.72 on the 40 there. And about as fast a guy as I've seen this year in pads. But I'm telling you guys right now, Zink and I went through the list of NFL Combine times just to kind of get an idea. Of the NFL running backs times, average 40-yard dash for an NFL running back of this last year's class is between 4.6 and 4.7. I mean, people think that's slow. I mean, it just doesn't make sense to me. And, obviously 4.4 they think is just sort of average. Last year's NFL draft, only one running back ran a sub 4.540. It was Darryl Scott from Maryland. Cornerbacks, a little bit different. There's 8 sub 4.540s, but certainly not as high a number. But so I've got to ask, all of this research now being put in front of you, Chris Erkley, do you really think that Hayden Gavitt runs a 4.4 40-yard dash?
I was told with the laser, and I don't
with
see
the laser.
I don't see freaking
laser
beams. Like, why? What would be the incentive to lie about this? I mean,
there'd be plenty of incentive to lie. Yeah,
I think he's legitimately. I mean, to me, the ultimate judge of it is the 100 meters.
Okay.
Well, and how he runs the 100 meters, because I think the 40's garbage, but because it shows his top end speed, it shows his actual strength, his endurance, and his reaction time, and his competitiveness. Is he a 10.8 guy, a 10.7 guy? I thought Mike Eubank could probably run in the 11.1 to 10.9 100 meters legitimately if he ran track, and he was legitimately fast. From just watching Hayden run the ball, I think he's one of the fastest guys we have out there. Is he Delshawn McClellan fast from Gar, who allegedly runs 4.3?
See, I just don't believe that. I hear 4.3 40, and I just don't believe it.
Right.
Well, and as we spoke earlier, that if you look at somebody, you're looking in 10 yard increments, and you're seeing, okay, there are people who have a fast burst and out,
right,
and there are people that have long bursts, and so they get the top end slower, but they have a higher top end.
Right.
You have people that get out there quicker and then don't have as high a top end, and you can see those differences amongst NFL players, college players, high school players. You see a kid who has a good first step or second step, and like a defensive lineman, if you're just talking about any position, defensive lineman, if you go across the line, it's based on the type of athlete you want at that position. Defensive end's a completely different position as a defensive tackle or or nose guard is, and they all have times that kind of go along with it. But a cornerback in the NFL Combine this last year, the best they were doing was 4.5, 4.4 on average, not the best, but 4.54, 4.546. And if you looked at running backs, it was more like a 4.6, 4.7.
Sure.
So I mean, there's tenths of seconds, very small increments of time, but it all goes back to, look, it's technique. If you're really tight with your technique, if you do really well with technique, you can take shave time off and make yourself to be faster than maybe you are on any given day.
Right.
And that's what they're looking for. That's why you got to look at those types of testing and protocols that they have to look at kids when they go to a combine. That's why they're looking at all of them: the 20 shuttle, the 40-yard dash, all those different things, because they're all. I mean, the most telling thing with a kid is a vertical leap. If a kid has a really ridiculous vertical leap, you usually can denote from that there's other things that they're very good at, which would be speed or explosiveness. A
kid that had very good vertical leap was Ryan Henderson. I believe we have it's a kid from Rancho Verde, committed to USC. Ran a 4.1 in last year. He was like the Spark national champion. This Spark deal is becoming a bigger deal, but was the national champion last year. Ran a 4.41 yard or 4.41 second 40. But he also, as Dave Zink was saying, had a 39-inch vertical leap, which is pretty impressive as well.
That just shows superior athleticism, both sides, male and female. It says a lot about broad jump, vertical leap. And then the shuttle and the 40 are very good indicators. But again, like you said, I agree with you.
He has a 44.6.
And there's other things. Some people are electronic. Some people are hand timed. Hand timed, you can actually add like 0.2 of a second to their time.
Well, anybody that takes a hand timed 40 is completely and utterly ridiculous and should never be.
But it happens, and coaches sell their.
I know.
And coaches sell their athletes to.
I can hand time Usyk in 3.5.
I guarantee you could.
Real quick,
let's start that.
Before this gets too out of hand, two of the fastest guys in the inland area. The two fastest guys at Spark Time. Who do you think they were? And I'm going to give you a hint. They're not big names.
Okay, then I'm.
Okay, so
just give them to us.
Gavitt wasn't one.
Gavitt was not one of them. Gavitt wasn't there, which is disappointing. But they're. Can you at least guess what school they came from?
Centennial.
No.
Roosevelt.
No.
Vista.
No.
Moreno Valley.
It's Chaparral and Corona. A backup DB for Chaparral, Devontae Neal, ran a 4.47. And then Gary Lewis, maybe he would be used if they could get him the ball a little bit, but a wide receiver for Corona ran the fastest time, 4.41.
Got to get the ball from Shane.
And you know what? To kind of close that thought out is, actually you could be as fast as you want. I mean, they take guys like this. I'm dating myself now, but Nehemiah, Ronaldo Nehemiah was a very quick guy, and they threw him in at receiver, and he had hands of stone, and he didn't know much about football. So I mean, there's that football mentality that goes along with that ability to be able to be really fast. And like you were talking, Chris Johnson is just a freak in the NFL, but he is very rare. There's not a lot of the people like him, and there's very few. The numbers get smaller and smaller. It's amazing that you said that there were 6. It's amazing that's all.
I'd still like to see him run against Usain Bolt.
Sure.
That would be great.
Zink, you might know this answer. Was it Bo Jackson or Deion Sanders? Doesn't one of them have the fastest combine time?
Actually,
probably Deion Sanders.
No, it's Chris Johnson tied Deion Sanders' record for the fastest 40 time in combine history, 4.24.
And might I say, Will does really in-depth research when he does these things.
I do.
He knows his stuff.
Hey, in-depth research, he's going to be doing that for his teams.
Yes.
Best high school athletes at those respective Inland Empire schools.
Right.
That was a lot of fun today, by the way.
Yeah, had a giraffe.
By the way, guys, why don't we not let the cat out of the bag? We'll let that be what it is for now, and
we will.
We'll visit that next year. What do you say?
Anywho, next topic will be involving banning, a debate that we always love to have around here. The topic, the hot issue, banning football. Currently,
Well, they won tonight. It's all good.
Right. It's a nice night to discuss it.
To this interesting number that we have here. Banning football has
It's so
17
shocking.
players on its roster.
Right.
Okay? Listen closely.
Completely. That's their full roster.
But this year, Banning High School opened up a brand new facility. $19 million facility, as a matter of fact.
Mm-hmm.
Which means it's about one a little over $1 million. We're going to call it 1.05, approximately $1 million per player.
Right.
For yes,
facility.
$1 million per player, and it took. It's $1 million. Apparently it's $19 million a win as well out there at Banning.
Just to clarify, the $19 million was the
whole
entire
stadium.
scope of
Right,
not
the
just the
whole project.
stadium, but
Yeah.
also the baseball fields, the softball fields, the pool, which is expensive because you folks in Palm Springs have to have a pool just to survive down there.
That's Yes, true. we do.
So you know how expensive that is. So I mean, it would be disingenuous to say that 17
Right,
kids
it's all
is $1
going
million.
to- right. But tell me this, Lewis. You and I were talking about this a little bit in chatting, and maybe this might be another topic that I end up doing a little bit more research on. But since these bond measures became easier to pass in the mid 90s, was there less oversight of this project than there might otherwise have been given an earlier year?
I don't remember how this bond was.
It was approved in 2006.
I don't
His
remember-
investigative reporting has just started.
I don't remember.
this is
I
the
don't
very
remember. I don't remember if it was the. There's different legal requirements on bonds that pass the 2/3 majority versus one that passes with 50.1.
Right.
So most likely most bonds are passed with a simple majority. So yes, thank you. So it's
Before
hard
they
to
needed
say.
a 2/3 majority to pass.
Well, the issue that Banning's always had was that when they built the high school in the early 90s, that they never completed the school. They built basically a middle school. And they didn't build a gym. They didn't build a theater of any real sort. So basically now they're completing those schools. And that's true of a lot of schools. If you look at like what Norco's gone through in the last few years, if you look at where Zink sends his children to, which has sort of been let go for a long time, every school district has needs. They have big time needs.
I had heard a rumor that the reason why this thing got pushed through was because a large amount of that $19 million was given by a private donor. We won't say his name, but initials LA out of the unincorporated area in Hemet. Is this true?
All I can tell you was that there was an initial with the initials of TA, who did provide some consulting on the track and field facilities there at the new stadium. But for those of us who grew up there, not having a stadium at the new school was a real hassle. Not having a track. You're talking about almost 20 years of not having facilities on the campus, nor a baseball field or softball fields of anything. So it's a huge thing. And, the other part of that expense, too, is the fact they spend so much money on lighting.
Right.
Very
Well,
yeah,
that-
you
that was
guys,
what I
you
was-
should be ashamed of yourself for questioning that whole
I've
project.
heard that-
those kids suffered. That kid
Suffered in the dark.
Right.
I've heard that some major concerts maybe are looking to get booked out there. Maybe U2 or the Rolling Stones.
Have you ever spent time in the south side of Banning? It can be absolutely freezing, so let's hope not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, in all seriousness, one last little bit before we close the book on this debate for the time being. Where I went to high school in Colorado, Jefferson County area, they build district stadiums, and certainly that area, that kind of mountain pass sort of an area. Ramona kind of does it to the point now. They play a lot of games, in that Inland Valley League at Ramona Stadium. Could you not build a district stadium there that multiple teams could make use of and spread that wealth around
I think
a little bit?
that's something that a lot of them have dealt with. But I think one of the things you got to consider with a high school, not only do you have to put high school football games in there, but what is it also used for? And quite frankly, I think the biggest thing they use it for is graduations.
Mm-hmm.
So having that a nice facility for those events is just as important. There really has never been a concerted effort. I think because of the bonds, every district, a lot of superintendents like to build things, and building facilities is a positive.
Look at what I built.
Yeah, but you know what? You do see some. But in all honesty, like at Kaiser and San Jacinto and a few others, they have a shared library facility with a county or a city or things like that. So,
Right.
So some of that does exist, and you're right. It would maybe be better to have a big stadium, than not have a small one or a big arena for that matter.
Well, if we could only go back to 2006.
There you go.
All right, so
Anywho.
Contest?
Would we like to go over the Pick'em contest?
Can we do
Contest won by Rick Zepik of beautiful Hemet.
Rick Z is as they may call him.
I believe it was Hemet taking the house tonight, wasn't it?
It was Rick Zepik, who is the coach at baseball coach at San Antonio High School.
Really?
2-time CIF champion baseball coach, and he won. He was 19-1 this week.
Making a move.
All right. I had a little glitch in scoring as usual. It seems like it never ends. But it really didn't change the results too much.
Always in his favor.
Yes. Tim Daniel out of Murrieta, who also graduated from Hemet High School, finished second. I finished third with EPJ right there with me. And
The fix is
good
on.
calls this week.
Rudy Casados out of Nuevo finished fifth, and he is
Convinced
now
the fix is on.
co-leader with Dr. Pete, who called us out this
He
afternoon.
called you guys out?
Dr. Pete, what did he have to say
He
when
phoned
he called?
He phoned in. I tried to get some information out of him because obviously he knows how to pick games, and he basically brushed me aside.
Hey, Erically,
yes.
How was
How do you protect a lead?
How was trying to navigate between Santiago and Centennial tonight?
Very easy.
Was it really?
I just cruised down. I forget the name of that.
California to Ontario, back up
I believe
Rimpau,
that,
and you're there.
that is
Yeah.
the tough road contest we talked about last
That's
week.
like 4 miles, right?
Yeah, it's,
Yeah, it was.
It's a hop,
it was-
skip, and a jump.
He probably could have used the walk.
Must I say so? When
jog.
when
Could he worked
I
his 40 time on his way over there?
I would have went 4-2.
Yeah.
When I was coming into the parking lot at Centennial, leaving from that Santiago game, obviously there was not a lot of parking going on.
Another ticket, huh?
No, not another ticket. I got crafty. They had a little like side gate with a gentleman, an individual. I don't know if he was an official from the school or whatnot, guarding the gate, making sure no one,
You went CIF pass on him?
I came up to the gate, and another car was turned away, an Escalade. I thought it was like maybe P. Diddy or Jay-Z or something in there because it was a TV game tonight. But anyways, they turned that car away. Then I came up to the gate and flashed my badge, my PE badge, and said, "Hey, Press Enterprise, I was hoping there's no other parking spots out here. I was hoping to get closer." And he's like, "Let me see that badge again. Press Enterprise, huh?" And so I took off the badge, handed it to him, showed it to him. He looked it over.
This badge right here.
Called into the White House, made sure it checked out.
Full FBI security check.
Yes,
right now.
and then after that, I was granted entrance. And
did they hail you up there in one of those human cabs? They hold you up on the shoulders and walk you in?
Yes.
That's pretty cool.
He's already had his bar mitzvah.
Similar to Lewis at any Hemet or Banning game. That was the type of reception.
Anything in the whole pass. Sometimes he
Yes.
just goes and walks his dog Rhodey. Somebody runs up, picks him up, and carries him on his shoulders.
Yes.
That's how Hemet feels about him.
I know.
It's a love affair.
I've been waiting for him to run for mayor. I heard mayor out there in Hemet.
I have to tell you a good roadie story later.
Uh-oh.
Well,
We had to close this thing up
anyway.
before that happens.
Yeah. Anyways, it's time for us to go. Pep looks like he's ready to call it a night. Pep is ready to
It's been a long day.
go home
everybody.
and watch some Teletubbies or something like that. So Pep saw, I forget what, it was some new little
That one just
animated
Did you just
movie.
struck
Lewis's
Teletubbies on
funny
Pep?
chord.
Well,
He just went
he
all
likes to watch
Teletubbies.
children's shows, he told me.
What are you
Whoa.
talking about? He's got 5-year-olds, dude.
I know,
You'll find that out too.
That's
The two
why
of
he
you.
likes to watch
you
children's
villains.
shows. Wiggles, sorry.
Get in there and
It's
take
the
some
Wiggles.
dick. Oh
He
my
likes
God.
to
He's
watch
starting to
the
make Pep
Wiggles.
sound like a creep. He likes to watch children's
Well, I
shows.
forgot to say
He's got kids.
he has 2 young children.
I
That's
used
why
to
he
know.
watches
I used to know a
children's
columnist
shows,
at another
okay?
newspaper who liked to watch the Teletubbies. Which is all I can say.
Anyways,
That's the last thing we should say, I believe.
anyways, it's time for Dave Zink to go home, or he says he wants to go out
Good
to
night.
IHOP with Lewis.
Are we gonna have pancakes?
and reminisce about all their
No,
golden
you've got
years
that all
together.
wrong. I'm going home.
Anywho, it is time for us to sign out. It was another magical week here for both HS Game Time Live, HS Game Time Late Night, HS Game Time Zinc Amistoy, whatever you want to call their extra segment that they have out there. It's all
Don't
great.
belittle my time, okay?
Anyways,
I don't think it's possible.
make sure, on Monday we will have another great pick'em show for you, breaking down all the big picks out here for, what will it be, week 8?
I believe that's what it is.
Week 8, yes. And also do not forget, next week. Another Friday, another magical Friday here on HS Game Time Live, hsgametime.pe.com. But for now, we are signing out. It is time for us to get out of here. For Will C. Holden, Dave Zink, Pep Fernandez, and Lewis Hemmett / anywhere in the past, Amistoy. I am Chris Erkley. We are signing out, and we will see you next Friday.